everyone. How are you doing? We've got a bunch of people chilling out in the chat. Good to see everybody. Shout outs to our Team Eric members in the house. Maestro's here. Good to see you. Texas Shark is here. Good to see you. Fetman Plays in the house. Vinny, James, one Marvel fan, and Amethyst is here. Good to see you. Yeah. So I know where I'm at on the East Coast. We'll be getting some of this hurricane stuff in the next few days. We're still not sure how bad it's going to be. But anybody that lives in those areas where it's hitting, which is like the Panhandle right now, please stay safe if you're watching, or if you are in an area that's going to be hitting. I know it's moving up towards like Kentucky and Tennessee, stuff like that. So yeah, please be safe. What's up, Jose? Hey, Defunct, how are you? Hero's Journey is here. Klaus is here. So this is going to be an interesting stream. Typically by now in the waiting room, I usually have 2 or 3 people. However, today, there's no one in the waiting room. No one has arrived to join the stream. So it might be quite interesting as we go through the topics, because we haven't really done a stream with just me in forever. It's been a minute. I'm looking rough. I just got done watching Inside Out 2 on Disney Plus. So if you haven't seen it yet, it is on Disney Plus right now. You don't have to pay to rent it. Let's do a little self-care while we're on camera here. A little self-care. So I was laying on the couch watching it and looking a little disheveled. Probably should have taken care of that before I started the camera. No, it's absolutely fine. I don't mind streaming by myself. I know it's a little bit more engaging for you guys, so if somebody else does show up, it will help for that, but I don't mind streaming by myself. I do videos by myself all the time. How was it? It was good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, the movie made like $1.6 billion, and it's definitely setting up a third film. To be honest, I haven't even checked to see if there's going to be a third movie yet. Like, they've announced one. Have they announced one? I'm not sure. But it's definitely setting up a third movie. So I would say the probability of that is really high, considering how much money the movie made. And again, it was a good movie. So I thought it was a solid film. I mean, good movie, made a lot of money. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is it a category 3? Helene? I think it's Helene. Is Helene a category 3? Let's take a look. I'll look right now while we're sitting here. Let's see. Category 4. Okay. So right now it is a category 4. Let's see here. Hurricane Helene, a dangerous Category 4 storm, is racing towards the Florida Panhandle. The eye around which is the most dangerous and life-threatening conditions will likely make landfall at the 11 p.m. hour. So 30 minutes from now, because I'm in the same time zone as Florida. And there's a storm tracker here. This is going to be a big deal. So, I mean, I know this isn't really a stream for weather, but where I live on the East Coast of the United States in Virginia, we used to get hurricanes and tropical storms all the time. Literally all the time. And as weather cycles have changed now, it seems like the storms are forming in the Gulf area more often. So they're coming up on the west coast of Florida instead of the east coast of Florida, because normally they would be off of Africa. Typically they start off the coast of Africa and work their way up. And we're just not seeing a lot of it anymore. What we end up getting now in this area is less of like, fingers crossed, I don't like hurricanes and tropical storms, but we get less of like a direct impact. I'm jinxing it now. I know I am. Anyway, we've seen less of that. And it's more hitting like down in the Florida area. So yeah, it's pretty bad, man. I hope people in Florida are safe. I got some friends and family down there, so woke bros. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Serenity. I don't. Anchorman. I don't know those two people. I know who Sean Chandler is, but I haven't really kept up with him lately. I have no idea who Anchorman is. So, hey Amethyst. Oh, you're on this one now. I know you're a team member on one of the two channels. So we got a few topics tonight. If you saw the titles, we're going to be talking about some Joker 2 stuff, some comments made by Todd Phillips. There's, depending on which channel you're on, we're going to talk about the Disney layoffs. We're going to talk about some stuff with the Winter Soldier, Superman and Lois. We've got some news about the Batman. Well, not really the Batman. Batman, basically. So we're going to talk about all of that. So I hope you guys are ready. I was going to wait for a few people to show up, but it looks like we might just be starting out with us. So let's jump into it. All right. We're going to start out with some stuff here from Twitter. So let's go ahead and cue the intro. Anyway, all right, so this isn't really related to like our fandom stuff, but it is interesting to me because of me being in the music industry, and I think a lot of you guys have probably been seeing this all day long too, so I wanted to talk about this a bit. The Diddy stuff. Now, if Paigey were here, he would be joking about this, because you guys know Paigey loves to give me shit about stuff, so I'm sure he's making fun of this. But this Diddy stuff is crazy to me. If you haven't been keeping up with it, like, we're talking about massive implications in the entertainment industry. Because Diddy, as a producer, as someone involved in the music industry, has been doing this since the 90s. Like, in terms of like making hit records and being a part of the music industry. So he's connected with a lot of different people. And, you know, you think of artists like Usher, you think of like Janet Jackson, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, Lil' Kim. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. So many people he's connected to over the years. And the fact that there's so many things coming out is just absolutely crazy to me. So this one is a little bit wild. So this one says Diddy's lawyer has confirmed he's prepared to testify in court, potentially exposing other high-profile figures in an effort to reduce his sentence. So he is going to squeal. He is going to go on trial, and he is going to just tell on everybody to try and keep himself out of trouble, which I think is quite interesting. And he goes on to say, I didn't know that I could keep him off the stand. I don't know if I can keep him off the stand. I think he's very eager to tell his story, and I think he will tell every part of his story. Diddy has pleaded not guilty on all three charges and was denied bail. Bob has arrived. Organized Chaos. Hello, Bob. How are you? Are you still getting set up, or? Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, my earbud was not working.
I was going to say, wait, what's going on
work
here?
It out. I was like, oh, wait, I'm not ready.
Okay,
Wasn't expecting this.
I was expecting, I was looking at the private chat. I was like, typically if it's like a wait, I would be like, it's private chat maybe? I don't know. But yeah, Bob is here. Good to see you. I actually just started. Yes. So you just missed the part of the stream.
You just posted it. Oh,
yeah.
Well, then I'm out.
Yeah, look, Kesha TikTok has a whole new meaning. Woke up in the morning feeling like...
Oh, God.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, God.
Well, apparently when she was at a live show, she took that line out of the song. Like, she changed the whole line because she doesn't use it anymore.
Really?
But, yeah. And Bob, I don't know how big you are on music, but growing up, I feel like my era, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing a song from Diddy. Like,
yeah. No.
He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was definitely. Yeah, now I'm even having trouble remembering exactly, but yeah, I mean, it was all over the place.
I mean, he's Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige, like all of these artists that have been connected to Diddy over the years. It's just crazy. A couple more things about Diddy, and then we'll move on to the more, I guess, entertaining stuff. Look, CBH Clark, with that much lube, who is squealing? Who is squealing? I don't know. I don't know who's squealing. But the thing was, apparently they found like thousands of bottles of baby oil in his house or something. And
Holy shit.
it says here, Costco, and so his lawyer basically said that he lives close to Costco, and so that's why he had so much like baby oil. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But it gets even funnier because a Costco spokesperson responds to Diddy's lawyer, who suggested he bought the 1,000 baby oil bottles in bulk from Costco. None of the company's U.S. locations carry baby oil, which means that was also just a false statement.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we'll wrap this up with something funny here. In terms of like how quickly this is moving. 50 Cent confirms Netflix bought his Diddy documentary. This is a story with significant human impact. It is a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips I've seen so far. So this is all moving very, very rapidly with this Diddy stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I look, I've never particularly cared for Diddy as a person. He had a TV show on MTV called Making the Band. Do you remember that show when it was on MTV?
Yeah.
He was notorious for making people do really petty things to become rich and famous, like making them walk like from one side of the city to the other to bring him like cheesecake and stuff like that. Like that's one of the big memes. So I don't think he's a very good person, but I've always known how connected he is to the music industry, and he's got so many people that he's worked with over the years. So my biggest thing is, what does this mean for those folks, and where are we going to go? So anyway, let me know in the chat if you're a big fan of this at all, and we'll keep it on the Diddy watch here. I talked earlier about Inside Out 2. Have you seen that yet, Bob?
Yes,
Inside Out
yes,
2?
I saw it.
What did you think of it? Because it just came out on Disney Plus.
It's fine. It's not as good as the first one. I thought the first one was actually pretty damn good. Although it's not as but it's fine. I don't know. I didn't hate myself, but I have no desire to watch it again.
Well, we'll move on to the next topic here, because a lot of people were asking, and I thought I'd ask you before we moved on, because it literally was the thing I talked about before you showed up. Because I hadn't seen it yet. I saw it on Disney Plus tonight for the first time. So I thought it was
What do you think? Yeah.
I thought it was good. I mean, do I think that it was as good as the first one? I agree with you. No, I don't think so. But I do think it was a nice continuation of the story, and they set up another movie before knowing they were going to make like $1.6 billion. So I'm glad they're going to get another film, because I'm pretty sure that they're definitely going to make another movie for that. So, all right. So we have some news here. This one's gaming news. So there's a new law in California specifically that will forbid digital storefronts from using terms like buy unless they specifically tell players they're simply buying a license for the game and not owning it. And I read through this article. It didn't really tell much more about it, except it talked briefly about the concept. We've heard this from some of these game developers where they say they don't want people to think of buying the games anymore. They want to think of them as like being part of an experience, or like a community or something, no longer owning it, which is why like physical media is a big deal. And so it looks like California is saying, if somebody buys a game from you or anything from your shop, and you plan on ever taking it away for any reason whatsoever, you cannot legally say they're buying it, because they don't own it.
Yeah, it is bringing up an interesting point, because it's something I've noticed, because like digital copies have become a big deal, and you can't resell a digital copy or anything like that. Typically, once you get it, it's done. It's over. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I lean towards not liking that, but yeah, I still haven't fully processed it.
Well, I mean, the thing is also, do you remember when Sony was like erasing people's movies and TV shows and stuff like that? So I think this goes kind of back to that. And 3W, you probably love physical media too, right? I mean, welcome to the show, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, because if they can go through and erase your library, because I'll be honest, when Google came out with the option to buy things digitally, I spent a good 2 or 3 years just buying the digital collections, because you got perks and bonuses from them. And to think about it, if Google ever decided one day they didn't want to have their movie department or whatever, all of your purchases would be gone, because there's no way for you to stream them. So it brings up a really good question about the ethics of whether or not you're buying something, or if they need a new term for it, because it's not really renting, because you're not really renting it.
No.
So I think we need new terminology for stuff that isn't sold as physical media to sort of fill that gap. Your cat is going crazy back there, by the way.
He does that sometimes. He's just barely not a kitten, so he still gets.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
He'll freak me out sometimes too. But yeah, it's a new thing with video games. I still, like I said, I still don't know how to process it because I don't like it. But yeah, that's my deep thought.
Says here, if you get a game and you can't play it because the company poops out, you're just renting the game. I agree with that.
Yeah.
South Texas Art, this is why I buy digital when it's on sale. I agree with that too, especially from like the marketplace of games. When something goes into like for $15, I'm always like, yeah, I'll spend $15 on it.
No, like I know when it comes to movies, I just love my steelbooks, and I wish I had the money to continue my collection because those things are so cool. But like games, I have tendency to just get digital because it's so convenient just to get like a $10 game when it's on sale, and then just download it and load it up whenever you want to. You don't even have to deal with a disc. Then it get deleted, and then shit.
Nothing but media. Good to see you. Hope this goes universal. We already have words rent and lease, and even long-term lease. I think lease might be a better term because I know people lease cars. They lease cars. You know what I mean? And you can have cars on a lease. But then that would also bring the question: Can you sell your digital copy to somebody else if you don't own it? And it's just being leased or rented and it's in your library. Could you put that up in the marketplace and sell it yourself? I think that would be a great way to like get people invigorated in it. So something like an eBay for digital copies of games, because the value would be set by just the people that want to sell it. You know what I mean? I think that might be kind of cool.
I thought it was kind of like already behind like a lease when you sign up for like PlayStation Plus, because those things come and go.
Yeah, but with PlayStation Plus, unless they've changed it, you can add it to your library and it stays there. Because I have games on my PlayStation Plus account from like last year that I haven't had a chance to play yet that were free for the month or whatever.
I have so many backlog of games that are just
free for the month. Not that one. I meant the classic catalog, the extra and premium.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I will say this though, like you were saying, Bob, I have a bunch that I haven't played yet. So when somebody was like, "Oh, there's no good games coming out for the next 6 months," I'm like, "That's fine. I have a bunch of games that I haven't played yet, so I can just go back and play those." We'll see where this goes. All right, next topic comes from N. Snyder. Now, you guys remember last week or last stream, we talked about was it Jeff Snyder from the N. Snyder like trying to pick up dates on Twitter? I don't even know if let me see if his account is back yet. Did you hear about that, Bob?
No, I did not hear about that. I know his it's weird. Like it seems like he's got a 50% success rate when he has like these leaks or whatever from Hollywood. Sometimes it turns out being genuine, and the other times it's just complete bull crap.
It looks like his Twitter account is still gone. Oh no, he's got it locked. It's just locked now.
Oh.
So he started it over. He deleted his original one. He started it over, and now it's locked. So,
of course,
but his main account is gone. Because he went on, and Bob, I don't want to rehash this because it was very traumatic for everybody last week. I had people in my comments saying, "Why are we talking about this?" But he went on Twitter, on his main Twitter account, and said, "I'm willing to send nudes if you're a woman that's looking like to hook up with a guy or whatever," and blah blah blah. He said he literally posted that on his main account. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So I thought he was gone for good, but apparently he's still around. And he posted over on his blog, and it says DC Studios tried to convince at least 5 movie stars to play Hal Jordan in The Lanterns. All 5 rejected. We talked about the 5 that they had spoken with. Josh Brolin was one of them. Chris Pine, Matthew McConaughey. Apparently they all said no because they thought there was too much baggage around Green Lantern, including the failed movie starring Ryan Reynolds. Now, you said his success rate is about 50%. And I will agree. I think it seems very hit or miss with him. This is one where we'll probably never know the truth. But if this is true, what do we think about this? Because that movie does have a lot of like pop culture connected with it. You know what I mean? In terms of the quality.
Yes, the Green Lantern movie sucked. It's hardly the worst Green Lantern movie though. And it's hardly the worst comic book movie. It's probably the worst Green Lantern movie because there's not much to choose from. But I mean, look at Captain America 1990. That movie was way worse than Green Lantern. And now we have a great Captain America. Green Lantern's a great character, I think. As long as they have a good script, if these guys are turning it down just for that reason, that's kind of shallow.
Yeah. I think it's more than that, though. And I know, and this is me projecting and, like, I guess theorizing a little bit. It might have to do with the the inconsistent quality, or I don't want to say quality, I guess, the inconsistent success of the DC films.
Yes, there's that
because because there's some that have been good that have not performed well. But the problem is that's the issue, is that they're inconsistent, and I think a lot of actors are probably waiting to see what James Gunn is going to do with his Superman movie before they sign on for anything big at this point.
I mean, I do think it's interesting they're hiring an older Hal Jordan. It's just to essentially mentor Jon Stewart. And I don't know. I just feel like it's already there. If you want an older Green Lantern to mentor him, why not just do your version of Alan Scott, and then you can have Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart out.
Especially if they don't think Hal Jordan's a big pull, right? If they think Hal Jordan isn't the pull and they want to move on to Jon Stewart, fair enough. But if Hal Jordan isn't the big pull, then start with Alan Scott. Give us a Hal Jordan and a Jon Stewart that are around the same age, and just have those two as the Lanterns. And make Alan Scott the classic character that everybody kind of know him. Like, everybody that loved Alan Scott originally as the Green Lantern, unfortunately, are probably no longer with us because that character came out so long ago. And again, there was a really good run. I know the recent run of Alan Scott Green Lantern that came out, the miniseries.
That was fantastic.
It's really good. But again, it's a character that people just aren't super familiar with in the pop culture world. And Green Lantern, look, Green Lantern visually, like this, what it all encompasses is one of the coolest looking designs for superheroes, in my opinion. And so for me to see that they're struggling with this, like Marvel is struggling with Blade, another really cool character, it's a little bit frustrating. I hope they nail this. I'm a little bit apprehensive because I think an older Hal Jordan doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now, especially since Superman is brand new in this world.
Yeah.
And Hal Jordan was Green Lantern for how long? You weren't here for this, Bob, and 3Dub was, but I guess he's AFK right now. When we talked about this before, the Superman movie is supposed to pick up in a world that has had superheroes for a little while. But if you look at the amount of superheroes that are being announced in this DCU, it seems like, how impressive is Superman going to be in a world where we've already had Green Lantern, we've already had, Hawk Girl, we've already had all these characters that are doing these amazing things. What makes Superman stand out from all of them? That's going to be really tough for him to do in a world where these superheroes have already been around, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but that definitely seems like what they're doing. And just everybody's around before Superman, so he's like the last one to show up. And it's like, yippee. You know what I mean?
3Dub, any thoughts on this rumor?
No, not really. But
he's like
the
me.
thing is, it's
I just got in.
Nonchalant about it.
Let me think about it. Decent. I'm put on the spot. I don't think there's like a lot of baggage with Green Lantern. I can't imagine that one guy, Ryan Reynolds, was the cause of the baggage, of the too much baggage, in my opinion.
I don't think he was the bad part of the film, to be honest.
No.
So,
not at
on
all.
top of that, everybody loves him now. So wouldn't it be more incentive to like pick it up and continue? I mean, that just seems like.
I also thought like it was funny that people are like, he's a bad actor when Deadpool Wolverine is crossing $1 billion right now.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, his style is uniquely like perfect for Deadpool, in my opinion.
I mean, like, some actors like a certain style of acting, which he likes humor. He likes being the joke of the bit.
I actually think you see actors like Ryan Reynolds who kind of survive on, I hate to say this, but like playing the same character all the time, where it's just kind of their style, their personality. We saw it a lot with Will Smith. We saw it with like Vin Diesel. We saw it with The Rock. Every once in a while, you'll get a character that'll come along and they get an opportunity to play something different. And Will Smith has done that a few times now, and it's been very successful for him.
I would even say Jim Carrey likes to be himself, which is, he has many sides of himself too. And I think we've seen all of them, but he's a real life cartoon.
Yeah. So don't know if this is true or not, but it's good to see that Jeff has taken a break from sending his nudes out to women on Twitter.
That's good.
And has
That's
decided
good.
to give us some actual spoiler stuff. But let's stay on the DC train here and talk a little bit about the Superman movie. Now, this news came out today from Ragu. Thank you, Ragu, for dropping this. Alan Tudyk is playing a secret role in James Gunn's Superman. Now, this is an official thing. It's an exclusive story from the Dish. And he's going to be voicing Dr. Phosphorus in Creature Commandos, and he's going to play him in live action. So this means that whoever he's playing in the Superman movie either gets killed off in that movie or is a character that doesn't have any physical connection with Alan. Like he's either voicing a CGI character or something like that. Let me give my thoughts on this, and then you guys can say what you have to say. But I think James Gunn is not... I don't have a problem with him pulling from people that he knows, but the thing is, everybody keeps accusing him of only hiring his friends to do work. If you keep putting the same people in multiple roles in this new universe you're creating, you're not beating those allegations, and people are just going to keep saying it about you. And you know, I don't know who he's playing. It's a mysterious role. It might not even matter. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
I don't know if he's actually trying to beat the allegations, and I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I love Alan Tudyk. Put him in all the roles. It's good.
I think he is mostly going for people that he knows that can be the role. He like David Cornsweet. He thought he could do the role. He's not his friend though.
With David Cornsweet? No,
Yeah.
not at all. Yeah, no, but I
Does
think
Michael
but see, that's
Rooker have a role in this movie yet?
wait, does he? I don't think so. I don't
Who-
think he
Wow,
does.
he's slacking. He's slacking.
Yeah, Michael Roker.
Oh, Michael Rook. Yeah.
Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
There I go. I don't
Yeah,
know his
okay.
actual name.
Right. Yeah. I like Alan as well. What happened in the Serenity movie is frustrating. I was so mad about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
great
was sore
actor.
about for a while.
Yeah.
I'm still
No,
not
he's great.
recovered.
He's great. Oh, you're still not. You're still upset about it.
Yeah, no, it's too soon.
Creature Commandos is right around the corner. I feel like we're going to be seeing that. When does it come out again? What's the release date? Does anybody know? Let me see. Let me
no.
check.
I think it's like in December.
Yeah, Michael Rooker is not listed in the
It
Superman
is.
movie.
It is. It's December 5th. December 5th. So it is right around the corner. I'm excited to see it. I don't know how it's going to play out in terms of being like the first DCU project, because I know a lot of people are worried that their universe is starting out with the animated series, but yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, next topic. Oh, let's jump into this one. A RoboCop TV series is in the work at Prime Video. So Peter Octo from Black Sails in the Office will serve as a showrunner, and James Wan is set to executive produce, and this is a real thing from Variety. Now, RoboCop is probably from our generation, Bob. Like
Yeah.
we're, like I know they tried to update it recently with that movie that came out in like 2013, 2014, whenever it was it came out.
like
3Dub, do you know a lot about RoboCop?
I've seen all of them, so yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so then
Yeah,
this is the right
I've
group
seen-
then, Bob. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw the trilogy, and then I tried to get into like the TV movie follow-ups, but I just couldn't finish one of them. That was really bad. The first one's great. The second one has potential and is kind of half good and half bad, and then it's just downhill.
Yeah. I'm excited about James Wan. Like I pretty much think he's good at, like with pulling in like the horror and the like drama.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Peter Octo, but The Office and Black Sails are solid shows, so I don't see an issue there. I wonder though, is this going to be more like that movie that came out in a more modern vibe, or if they're going to go back to like the really campiness, like the campy horror action that was the original films?
I kind of hope they embrace the campiness, because
That's what I want. The silliness of it all. You know what I mean? Because I feel like
I want a
about-
hard R.
yeah. I feel like okay, so let me ask you this. What did you think, both of you, what did you think of the more updated movie that came out? The reboot that came out. What do we think of it?
I didn't mind it, but at the same time, I thought it was like CGI was kind of like better.
Well, yeah, definitely.
But
There was a lot of stop motion in the original RoboCop films, so
which is awesome.
yeah.
I will say, like, the backstory of that one felt more like, I guess, updated.
Well, yeah, it was scarier because they wanted you to see the
yeah.
effects on the body on his body before becoming RoboCop. Whereas in the first one, it was more psychological, I think.
Mhm.
Bob, what did you think of the newer one? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I don't. I remember not hating it, but I don't remember much of it.
Remember, it was a black
either,
suit.
so,
It's like the armor
yeah,
was black and everything.
Yeah. Gary Oldman was there. I thought the cast was all right, but like it didn't. Stick with me at all.
I wonder if the black suit was to like
what?
Emphasize that the cop suits were black or something. Also, like usually you call them like the men in blue, which they're not always wearing blue. So I thought it was kind of like.
Hold on.
Hey, in the new one, he was also missing his USB port. That is a very, very sharp object.
Hold on. There is a TV show from Canada. I did not know about this.
I wonder if that's what I tried to watch. Because I
The
know there was
whole
something after
season is
3, and
on
I
YouTube.
tried to watch it, and ugh.
The whole season is on YouTube. Hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all 22 episodes are on YouTube. The question is, Anthony, is it worth watching? That's the question. Is it a good show? I don't mind if it's lower budget, like a CW type thing, but is it a good show? That's what I want to know. All right, so next thing we're going to talk about is, let's move down here. This one's a little upsetting.
Yeah, I don't think this is what I've seen.
Andy Serkis says he's working on a new narrative project that will include AI characters. He describes the story as 2D characters using voice actors coming into an AR world where they become AI characters authored by artists and directors. That sounds very confusing to me. Does it sound confusing to anybody else?
Yeah, are they somehow characters actually made by AI, or are they just supposed to be AI characters?
Yeah, the problem is there's no story linked here, and I tried to find the full story, and there's several interviews with them. I was like, I'm not going to read through all of these before the show. I'm thinking that everything important is in this quote, probably about what it is. So he describes the story as 2-dimensional characters using. Let me unpack this. Using voice
like
actors
a cartoon
coming into an augmented reality world where they become AI characters authored by the artist and the directors. So I wonder if it's like a play. Maybe it's not as bad as it sounds. I wonder if it's like a play on the idea of AI. It's not actually an AI.
That's
thing.
what I'm thinking too.
Free Guy comes to mind when I think about that.
Well, it makes me wonder if the normalizing of it is going to be a problem. I'm not against AI. I've had this struggle before. I'm not totally against AI. I think there are really useful applications of AI, particularly in the health community and the engineering community, things like that. I think there's really good ways to do it. And I even think in the art community for things like building scripts as a first-time screenwriter or something like that. I think there's a lot of really good things you can do with AI. My entire problem with AI comes with 100% generative AI that does not require you to do anything except type in a prompt and create entire TV shows and movies. That to me is a problem. I have an issue with that. And that is what I don't want to happen. So as long as we're not doing that, I'm willing to give it a shot. That's how I feel about it.
I wonder if he's talking about like cartoon characters that come into our world as like AI basically. Because if the voice actors that originally voiced those characters also voiced the characters in the movie, I'm more interested in it.
Yeah, I think if it's a commentary on it, I think it's a fair thing to do.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I will repeat it. I love the meme that essentially says, AI was supposed to do the menial tasks so I could focus on art. Right. AI isn't supposed to do the art so I can focus on menial tasks.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. AI can be a wonderful tool, but we have, it's not supposed to replace art because it's not art. It just regurgitates crap it gets off the internet and pretends like it's art.
And
I think
the other issue is it's feeding on it's feeding off of other people's creative projects without paying them or giving them credit. That's the issue. So
yeah,
I also think it would be like I think I would have more of a problem if there weren't voice actors. If the voices were also AI.
I kind of want to see what Andy Serkis is cooking because he's a pretty creative guy. But I kind of want to see what he's doing.
Okay, so today we got the official Batman on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Here we go. Let's watch the clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome the newest Walk of Famer to the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
We see Jim Lee there. I'm not sure who's in the Batman suit. Probably just a stand-in person. Actually, that Batman suit actually looks really good. I'd love to see a suit. I mean, it's not great, but something like that designed for a movie, I think would be really appropriate. He can move his head around and everything. It's pretty crazy. Now, I've seen some mixed feelings about this. There's a lot of people wondering why Batman is getting a spot on the Walk of Fame. Now, I covered this a couple weeks ago. There are other fictional characters on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but Batman is the first superhero. Do you guys have any mixed feelings about this, or how do you feel in chat? How do you feel about it?
For me, it should have been like all the live action Batmans and possibly some of the animations being there to uncover it. That would make more sense than a random guy in a suit.
Oh, Jim Lee. Yeah.
Or Jim Lee in the suit. I would accept that too.
Can you imagine Jim Lee? That would be so fun. Bob, do you have any issues with fictional characters on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Not really. It's the Hollywood Walk of Fame it is what it is. I don't really think too much of it. It is an honor, I'm sure, for the people who get it. But I do think it's interesting. They missed Batman Day by a couple of days.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah.
I also wonder if that was like because of Kevin Conroy's passing, because he was known for being the Batman, not live action. So I think it's a way of honoring him too.
Does he have a star?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, that should be fixed.
I agree.
Let's see here. Got a few other things. Let's we'll continue with the Batman topic.
And it should be right next to the Batman.
I don't object.
So there was another
Adam
Batman...
West has one. And
yes, yeah. So here, the Batman spinoff series about the Gotham Police lost Boardwalk Empire creator Terrence Winter before being entirely scrapped. Now the series was going to be about we're doing a 1970s cop show, and it was going to have that 70s feel. So I guess they just decided not to move forward with it. With the Gotham Police.
Sounds a bit too much like Gotham.
No, I was thinking it sounds like a very boring setting.
Sounds boring to you?
Yeah, because when they say like it's going to be a 90s, 70s cop show and a 70s feel, I'm like, it's going to be campy and it's going to be old.
Screwface says they defunded the police. That's hilarious. I don't know. Look, I'm enjoying the Penguin. We have to wait. Wait, is there an episode? There's not an episode today. No, it's Sunday. So we got another episode coming up soon. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a solid series. But I said this last stream. We've got so much Batman stuff as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So much Batman stuff.
When Cape Crusader came out and it like diverged so far from like Batman stuff I'm used to, I'm watching it and at first it took me off, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, go ahead and do this. Listen, was it all hit? No. They had some misses with that series, but like, please explore it because we have so much Batman stuff. Just do something different. Holy crap.
Yeah, I love that we were getting a new, like, I know a lot of people complained about the Penguin Oswalda instead of being Oswald, and
She
some of the
was
changes
probably
to
the
other
creepiest
characters.
penguin we've ever gotten. Holy
Yeah.
crap, she was dark.
And I get it. People want that classic feel, but when you're telling an Elseworld story, I feel like it's fair game to
Yeah.
change anything. I don't have a problem with you changing anything. And it's either going to work or it's not going to work. And that's going to come down to personal opinion. So for me, I enjoyed it. I was into the story, just like with My Adventures with Superman. Completely different take on Superman. Have you seen that yet, Bob? Have you watched that at
No,
all?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that's really good. It's got
I
2
add to the agenda.
seasons. Yeah, it's got 2 seasons.
And the third one on the way.
Yeah, it's really, really good. You have to go into it just clearing your mind of everything you know about Superman and really just picking it up from where the story they're telling you. But it's really, really solid. It's fun. It feels very fresh. It doesn't steal a lot of nods from other Superman stories. It's got a lot of its own identity, which is what I think Batman Cape Crusader has. And so I really stand behind both of those projects. I think you can have room to put out the stuff that is more like the comic books, but then you should also have the space to tell stories about things that are not. And I think we should be okay with that because it just gives us more content to talk about and enjoy. I don't know. This one, though, I'm not sure if it would have worked. I'd love to see what they would have done with it, but
I mean, DC, I do feel like their problem, and I do feel like they're breaking away from this, but their problem for the longest time was that they're only willing to do Superman, Batman, Superman, Batman, Superman,
Yeah.
Batman. Mostly Batman, but they'll definitely sprinkle Superman in there. And I think with Wonder Woman being a bit of a success, and then Aquaman, they're like, oh, maybe we should do not that all the time.
Yeah.
But they still do a lot of Batman.
there's also a Batman game coming out soon and other Batman stuff on the way. It's like, oh, DC has thousands of characters.
Yes.
Thousands. Like,
Hopefully, I'm alive when they do Martian Manhunter.
yeah. Well, yeah. We don't know if that's gonna happen either.
Man.
Speaking of DC, we do have some news on Superman and Lois, and I was excited to hear this or to read this.
Ooh.
The Superman and Lois series finale will reportedly feature something that no previous Superman-themed TV series or movie has ever done before. And
Okay.
that makes me very excited because they can kind of go wherever they want because it's the end of the series.
If
Yeah.
they say
Yeah.
if they say it's because they killed him, I mean that's been done before.
No, I don't think that's
No,
going to be it. I
it's
think
gonna be
they're-
that. That's not gonna.
yeah, I think they're literally talking about like the way they're going to wrap up the whole show. Is what I think.
I mean,
I'm
Doomsday's
kinda-
gonna be there. I'm assuming they're going to do like the he's almost dead but not thing. But yeah.
There's
What
also-
what
yeah,
if it's the ending in Crisis? That would be funny.
I don't think that.
That hasn't
little-
been done before.
There's a little clip here reminding us that it comes out in just a couple weeks with Tyler Hoechlin, who, by the way, this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way. I love him as Superman. I love his
I
version of
agree.
Superman. I think he's a really good Superman and a really good series. And it's just unfortunate that I think this show got cut short because of like red tape between the companies and the studios and all of that. I could have watched another couple seasons of this Superman.
Absolutely.
And
I
yeah,
could
think
watch
he's
all
solid,
7.
So, so here we go. Let's see what he has to say. It's a very short clip.
For me, I think it's just being a small part of these characters' lives. They've been around for so long, and I know they mean a lot to so many people. So to just be a small piece of that and continuing on that, for lack of a better word, legacy, has been a real privilege, and I've been very honored to do it for these last however many years now.
That's it. Very short one, but yeah, look at that final season with the grayscale. Love
Yeah.
it. It's really sad though because this show gave us a Superman and Lois well into their relationship with a family, something that we've not seen because you think about Smallville, like 3Dub loves Smallville. Smallville gave us like a version of Superman where we watched him as he grew up and as he became an adult and how he lived his life at that point, in this Elseworld story. We've seen that before. My Adventure with Superman has done something a little bit different. The movies kind of pick different things. We had never seen a story about Superman like sort of 20 years into his career with a family. You know what I mean? And I really appreciated that.
You're repeating a lot of stuff I've said about it. I like that, this is the story that takes place after everything we've seen. And I like that, now he's grown up, he's got kids, he's got family responsibilities. It's awesome.
So I'm really excited about the final season. It just sucks that that's the end. I would love more in that world. but we'll have to take what we can get. All right, so I want to jump into one of the major topics, which is the Joker stuff, about Joker being red pilled or calling Batman alpha male, and just kind of dive into this.
What are you doing?
Okay, so Todd Phillips said this, and I was debating, like, do I want to make a video on this or do I want to talk about it on live stream? Because the whole thing is so baffling. I actually went down this rabbit hole of Reddit and through tweets and stuff, reading about this and people's take on this. The vast majority of people think this is one of the dumbest things that Todd Phillips has said.
And he's got some bangers. So.
But here he says, he reveals how he thinks Joaquin's Phoenix Joker would react to Batman. So this is the one from the Joker films he's working on here. I think Arthur would be in awe of the alpha male that is Batman. I really do. I think Arthur would look up and appreciate it. And I looked up several different definitions of what people think alpha male means, like in terms of how it's perceived. I don't think of Batman as a typical like alpha male. That doesn't he doesn't come across that way to me. Do people just not? I hate to say this. Does Todd Phillips not really know what like alpha male means? Or
well, here's the thing. Like maybe I'm gonna try to give him some credit here because I do think he's a decent filmmaker, but. Yeah, some stuff he says. Anyways, I'm gonna say maybe he's saying this from Arthur's perspective. Maybe Arthur would just be caught up in the alpha maleness of Batman.
He's so masculine and strong, and
exactly.
the whole idea of being red pilled, which is what another thing that people call this, or like this is the red pilled Joker take or whatever.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's going with the alpha male as the leader, like. If you watch Teen Wolf, when you become an alpha, you become a leader of a pack.
that was the original like I don't want to say textbook, but the original concept of what alpha male means, because it's just very simple, but it's kind of spiraled with Andrew Tate and all of these different people saying it now, that it means a bunch of other things. And usually people that say that, it doesn't mean anything really, but usually the people that say it, at least the ones that I've seen on the internet, are dude bros or really young guys who want to talk about aspiring to be an alpha male, or beta cuck and all this other stuff.
Saying you're an alpha male is the most beta thing in the world.
Right, 100%. But it's just weird to me that would this be Arthur's take on Batman in this world?
I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about somebody. To be honest, I don't even think Batman works in this Joker world. It doesn't even make a lot of sense, to be honest.
I mean, they technically have him in there, but I guess they don't technically have Batman, but they have an orphan Bruce Wayne. But
the only way I can see it is if maybe like Batman's technically a wrestler.
Oh my god. Well, look, Maestro's throwing him a bone here. He's the leader of the pack of the Bat family, so he's an alpha in that sense. Okay. I will give you that. I feel like that's a fair assessment.
And he's technically the leader of the Justice League, just, because he has like all their weaknesses in a computer.
Cam says, anyone who thinks that Batman is an alpha male doesn't understand the character. That's kind of the general take I've been seeing online on Reddit and stuff, is that statement made about Batman, who cares about everybody. This is a guy whose entire life revolves around being concerned about helping people, is not an alpha male quality. I mean, it's just not in the sense of the way it's applied on social media. Jason said, if Batman's not an alpha male, who the fuck is? Well, technically no one, really. Alpha male is a term that doesn't really... The whole idea of the alpha was something that came up when they used to do like these studies on apes and things like that. And they were talking about like the alpha ape and this, that, and the other. And it kind of spiraled into us being also in that same sort of hierarchy with the alphas and the betas and all this other stuff. And it just doesn't really mean anything. It just doesn't. Like it's one of those things where trying to define it like we're doing it right now, it's almost impossible. He's reading the absolute Batman books.
I thought Batman was supposed to be a fascist.
I'm working hard on my Sigma grind, guys. I'm working on.
I mean,
Blue Beetle reference.
There are yes, but I talked about this one from Blue Beetle. Is there are iterations of Batman that you could argue dive into fascism, especially the ones where he tries to take over Gotham with his like Bat Patrol and stuff like that. Like those are fascist ideas that Batman has had. But in general, I don't think Batman is a fascist character. I just think there's ideas like in stories where he's been done that.
I think Red Death is fascist in the sense that he wanted to stop villains faster.
I don't know if that necessarily is 100% fascist. I'd have to go back and read the story. Fascism is more about controlling by any means necessary.
That he's trying to control like them not coming back in a unnecessary way.
No, I get what you're saying, but Red Death was also under the he was underneath the Joker or the Batman Who Laughs, and so he wasn't the head of anything. And usually, the person that is looking to be a fascist leader is not going to listen to anybody else. And so, I don't know if that applies. Yes, it could be an element of that. I will agree with you there.
I'm seeing a little bit of chat, and it does make me wonder because, so like this movie was really big with the red pill crowd. And I think it's decent. I think I think they misunderstand the shit out of it. And it maybe with this statement, Todd Phillips is speaking to them more than anyone else.
Maybe
I'm spitballing.
Well, I will say that there were people in the forums that were saying that this was Todd Phillips kind of talking to the red pilled community.
Yeah.
Because that's, I guess he thinks that's the people that are going to get that statement, maybe, possibly. So yeah,
must be out of the loop. All I know about the red and blue pill is like, which one's better? Which pill are you taking?
Well, that's where it came from. The term red and blue
Matrix,
pill came from the Matrix. So the red pill concept is like being aware of everything that's going on. Whereas, instead of just going along with it and forgetting that the world is controlling you. That's the whole idea of the Matrix and Andrew Tate stuff. This is why the term, like, I know the chat is like, I realize you guys are like yelling at me going, oh, alpha's real, whatever. Yes, I understand the concept of what an alpha is in terms of like pop culture and everything. But there's a specific reason why Todd Phillips said it here, and it isn't why you guys think it is. That's the whole point. The statement itself is speaking specifically to a certain bit of the audience, and it isn't speaking to Batman. That's the problem. It is him saying this is how Arthur would perceive Batman. However, Batman is not this thing, and so Todd Phillips is saying it, and people are going, why is he saying this? He doesn't understand Batman. So thank God he's not putting Batman in the movie. That's all I got to say. Thank goodness he's making a Joker movie that doesn't include Batman, because I don't think I'd like that version of Batman, to be honest.
True.
We had a super chat here from Cody, and I believe this was about Superman and Lois. A $2 super chat and a team member. Thank you, Cody. I think it's the simple idea of retirement. So saying that Superman is going to retire at the end of season 4 and like pass the mantle on to Superboy, to his son. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it would be what would be kind of like something that we have never seen before is have David Cornsweat in there, and he actually passed the torch to him.
Yeah.
So the last episode is him transforming into David Cornsweat, losing all memory of who he is, being brought to a different Earth,
and then flying over to a different Earth. Yeah. Look, I am down for some wacky shit. So we'll go with that.
People will be like, "Why did you even do that?"
All right, we got some Supergirl news. Surprisingly, at least some updates. Some of it's not so new though. This came out today, it's 2 days ago. It says Millie Alcock will reportedly appear in the DC project before making her theatrical debut in Supergirl. Source Deadline. I thought we knew that she was going to be in Superman, didn't we?
I mean, I feel like he's been casting a whole bunch of people. I kind of assumed.
I swear that he said it, though.
As much as I like James Gunn, I am concerned with all the freaking characters he's casting for the Superman movie. Can you just do like a Superman movie?
I don't think he ever said it, and so I kind of don't believe this rumor until he actually says that she's.
Well, it says the source is Deadline, so this isn't a scooper. It's
yeah. I still think Deadline is like getting information that isn't from James Gunn. Like somehow James Gunn's leaking information now.
I will be honest. my experience with Deadline is pretty much if they say it's going to happen, it's happening.
We just don't know if it's going to be in Superman. But
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of projects happening before Supergirl. I think Supergirl's like the second or third movie, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like,
Would you say
Supergirl is right now the one scheduled to happen after Superman.
so that only leaves the cartoon and Superman.
Yeah.
would you say like an uncredited means she's not actually in the film?
No, uncredited just means that they're not credited because they don't want to spoil them being in the film.
Okay.
That's usually what that means.
She will be in the final episode of Penguin.
Maybe.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'm gonna have trouble. I looked it up to see if I could pronounce this, and I couldn't. So excuse me here. But Matthias Shonen Arts, I think it's Shonen Arts was how they pronounced it, will play the villain in Supergirl. And let me look up and see. I couldn't think of anything that I had seen him in.
The name doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, he's Belgian. Let's see.
People already think like they know what he's gonna be too from
Let's
the
see.
Woman of Tomorrow.
The Old Guard, Bullhead, Red Sparrow, Kirsch, Little Chaos, Rust and Bone, Far From Maddening. I don't know what any of these are.
Freaking IMDb has him credited as Creme of the Yellow Hills.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so I don't know much about this actor, but I see a lot of positive reception to this. So I'm assuming people that have seen him in other things are happy about that. So it's been confirmed that he's playing Creme. So that's been confirmed. So let's see. I'm going to pull up.
I don't recognize it. The only thing I recognize in his filmography is Red Sparrow, and I hated that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not recognizing anything else. It's a big filmography, though. He's been busy.
All right, so here's what the character from the comics looks like. Let me pull this up. Right there.
Okay.
For a second
Yeah.
there, I thought it was Elektra, and I was like, "Wait, that's not the right."
Well, I
Elektra.
mean, it's based on the story, the Woman of Tomorrow's story. It kind of makes sense. So I'm not too shocked about that. I'm still very curious what this movie is going to be like. Are we a little bit nervous? I mean, as we get further and further into this, and chat chime in as well, are we a little bit nervous about the I don't want to say fidelity, but sort of whether or not these stories are going to work for like a general audience? Are we concerned about the way these are going to translate from the comics to the general audience? Because it seems like we're talking about the Authority and all of these stories that I don't know if they're going to generate the kind of interest that some of the other stuff has been. And look, he did Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a group that most people would think nobody wanted. You know what I mean? I'm just a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah. His track record with these comic book properties is pretty spotless. With Guardians, with Suicide Squad, with Peacemaker, phenomenal stuff. That being said, he also has to fight with the fact that like DC brand is a very damaged brand at this point. People are not rushing to the theater to see these. Can he rebuild that? Because Marvel had a period where they were just producing crap movies, not MCU movies, but before MCU, there was quite a little rough patch. I guess we have to see if he can overcome that more than anything else.
Yeah, people are asking about this character. It says right at the top here, ruthless King's Agent Krim, a sword-wielding, arrow-slinging criminal thief dubbed killer of men, women, and dogs. And the thing is, this is not good for her, obviously. After he murders the father of the alien girl, Ruthie? I don't know how that's pronounced.
Does he have any powers? Because I see him as a threat to her.
I mean, if he's a killer of men, women, and dogs, I'm going to guess that he has some sort of like alien power. I'm going to guess that.
Lex Luthor is Superman's biggest enemy. So
Yeah, but Supergirl's fairly new. Like, if it was Lex Luthor, I can understand because he knows the weaknesses to make Superman cry in pain. This guy, not so much.
I'm just pointing out, not having powers doesn't mean they aren't a threat.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
and I know,
yeah.
Tom King created this character. So,
Ooh.
let's see.
A lot of them will pretty much attack the public to perception of them, which hurts this character.
Yeah, see, Cam, that's what I took him as too, like just a superpowered alien barbarian. I don't remember any specific stuff about his powers. It's been a long time since I've read the story.
It's kind of like what's his name? The Lobo. Kind of reminds me of Lobo a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. What else? Any more DC news before
I was just going to point out the big villain in the superhero or the DC universe right now is Amanda Waller.
Right. So that's all the DC stuff we have for now. So I guess we'll move on to the Marvel stuff. Before we talk about it, because this will determine whether I want to do it here or if I'll do a separate video. Have you guys watched the most recent episode of Agatha?
The brand new one, no. I've seen the first two.
Okay, because we're going to talk about Funko spoiling something.
I've been spoiled a little bit on it already, so yeah.
Okay, so we can do the Funko spoiler.
Are we talking about that?
Do not spoil it now because I want to give people a chance.
Okay. Okay. Are we talking about a female character?
We're talking about multiple characters, but I don't want to say female because that would spoil it. So there's a lot of women on the show. So we'll wait till we get to the end.
I'm trying to be vague here.
It will be the very last thing I talk about. And if you don't care about spoilers, you can stick around. And if you do, you can head out. It's fine. We'll talk about it at the end. All right. So let's continue here with actually, let's do this one first. And this is a really quick one. Martin Scorsese, who is like really on everybody's mind right now because of Megapolis, I think is how you pronounce the movie or whatever, right? How's it pronounced?
Well, that's Francis Ford Coppola.
That's Francis Ford Coppola. Yes, it's but Martin Scorsese is what was the comments he made about? Yeah, the old school. He made some recent comments. Someone, where was it at? Someone on Reddit posted it, and it was something he said that pissed people off.
Yeah, he's gonna say something controversial, and that's how you know he has a new movie coming out.
Let's see, it was something about Marvel, and I lost it.
Of course, yeah.
Let's see where to go. Because I think it was he was talking about the reception of the recent movie, which is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was some interview asked him something about Marvel, and it was a negative comment, but I can't find it now. It's been buried. It'll pop up here in a few days. Anyway,
I mean, for what it's worth, I'll go ahead and say Killers of the Flower Moon's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. But I know there's a lot of controversy around it and stuff. So, but his Jesus film and Frank Sinatra biopic has been postponed indefinitely. Neither will start filming this year, and the plan was to film them back to back.
Wait, he's doing another Jesus movie?
Did he ever? Wait, was there?
Yeah, he did Passion of the Christ back in the day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That was him?
I'm pretty sure. Am I misremembering?
I thought it was Mel Gibson.
No, I'm not Passion. Last Temptation.
That one, yes. Passion of the Christ was from 2004.
Yes. I'm thinking Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Yeah, all these old directors are blending together for me. Anyway, so Stranger says that comment was a while ago, so it just started cycling around again, I guess, because of this news. I think he's a great director, but I think what we're starting to see is it's finally happening where the shift in like directors that are bringing people into cinemas is starting to like phase out. Like certain directors that just aren't, it isn't working anymore. And I don't know if it's because of the change in viewing habits from people that are paying to go to movies, or if it's a change from streaming to theatrical stuff to VOD, all of that. I don't know what it is, but a lot of these like sort of like well-renowned directors are not getting the same treatment from the studios they used to get back in the day. And passion projects aren't enough to get them jobs anymore. And, is it, hate to say this, do they need to start going independent and going to some of these other studios that aren't like the larger studios? I mean, what are we going to see here if they're going to keep pushing these things back?
Part of the issue. Like a lot of these filmmakers like to do like really expensive, low passion projects. You can't really do that indie. Could they make great stuff on the indie market or just smaller studio market? Absolutely. And I don't know, maybe they should think about scaling back a bit. But I know they're
That's
used
what
to
I'm
making
wondering.
really expensive movies at this point.
I feel like the old guard, with the lack of a better term there, the old guard of Hollywood, there's a prestige element to it. And I feel like a lot of them think they paid their dues, they put in their time. And I just don't think that's how Hollywood works anymore. I don't think that's how the industry works anymore. And, you know, with the more modern directors coming in, people that have been directing since the 90s starting to fall into that prestige category, and the ones that have been in that prestige category, they're going to be more in tune with what people are going to see in theaters than someone like, unfortunately, Martin Scorsese. Just, I don't think he knows. I mean, look at these two, Jesus and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
That's the subject matter, right? I mean,
Well,
what is that?
So
what does that say about where his interest is? You know?
Yeah, Frank Sinatra. I'm sure there's a crowd for it, but they're probably older than me for sure. And as for Jesus, the issue with Jesus, as far as I know, Martin Scorsese is not like a devout Christian or anything.
Right.
That would be where your audience is for something like that. So I'm not saying he shouldn't make these movies. If he wants to make them, he should make them. But I don't know where the audience would be for him at all.
Yeah, and I think the studios are weary too.
I'm a fan of Frank Sinatra, but I'm not like interested in a biopic.
Well, the issue also is that a lot of people during that era did some questionable things that probably don't translate well, and it might make them look bad for people that don't know a lot about them, bringing up things from their past that wasn't necessarily there in the beginning. Like things that people don't know about.
Technically more interested in like an Elvis biopic, but that's just me.
Well, they had that really good movie that came out, the Elvis movie that came out recently. Did you see that?
There's a couple Elvis movies that came out recently, I think.
All right, so this is the other big story I wanted to talk about, and this is the Disney layoffs. Now, I know that the bully Grifto Spear Chud Space is probably going to jump on it. Let me pull this up on the screen.
It's because they were woke.
Yeah. There we go. So Disney's layoffs. Where's the screen there? Hundreds of corporate staffers impacted. And if you take the story and you just run with the headline, you can kind of create whatever you want. And you scroll down here through Twitter, it says, more layoff news is what already been a depressing week. Disney is in the middle of a new wave of cuts as part of a cost-saving initiative, sources tell Deadline. We hear that about 300 or so people affected by the layoffs that started yesterday and are continuing today and tomorrow with the possibility to scratch beyond that. The positions are all based in the U.S. They're Disney corporate operators, legal, HR, finance, and communication. So nothing creative. Nothing in the creative department whatsoever. So any of the chuds talking about it are like, this is all like paperwork people. This isn't really like anyone that works directly with talent, except for maybe human resources. And even that would just be in matters concerning like ethics and things like that. But that still wouldn't be a direct connection to any projects that are happening.
I just like feel like if they keep cutting things, how secure is a job at Disney?
Yeah. And I read that's because they're doing expansions. Now, in the article, which I had open over here in the side, but we're not going to read it.
Expansions mean grow. So, how is
cutting
growing? I mean, it sounds to me that like they need more unions, honestly.
Well, I think what's happening is, this is kind of what happened with Warner Brothers and Discovery and everything. There's job redundancies when you start to expand in different markets, and you just need one person to fill like multi-job things. And you're right, Bob. They definitely would need a union in the sense like you even if my job is redundant, it should be secure because I'm not. My job has nothing to do with what you're doing with the company. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guarantee you these people laid off. I mean, they might be unionized, in which case it's a seniority thing. But if it's a lot, it's probably not union.
Yeah, it says here, this was a comment from Disney. We continue to evaluate our ways to invest our businesses and more effective manage our resources and costs to fuel the state-of-the-art creativity. And this is PR, by the way, an innovation that consumers value and expect from Disney. As part of this ongoing optimizational work, we have been reviewing the cost structure for our corporate level functions and have determined there are ways for them to operate more efficiently. I would not be surprised. And I know that right here, Cody pointed this out. This is mostly about India and a merger. And yes, I agree. And Stranger even called this out now with the merger in India. I would assume not only is it about that, but it's probably about, unfortunately, AI being able to fill the roles of some of these jobs.
Also,
I would not be surprised if there's some AI stuff involved with this.
I kind of wish that Disney would also help those employees that they like fired to help with another job. Like, it feels like it's only like it feels only natural because they ripped your family's finances and your means.
Oh,
to eat.
I agree, but I still think that's a priority.
That's what I'm saying. If these were union jobs and they start firing from seniority, then yeah, there would be lots of protections, and they'd probably get some sort of a severance package or something like that. If it's not union jobs, they're SOL, which is why they need to be unionized.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
when companies do this, there is like a way to go to a job cut site where they pay you until you get a job.
I mean, yeah, you probably have some.
That's
unemployment stuff,
but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I was like, what is it called?
But it also depends on the type of firing that you have to whether or not you get unemployment. It really depends on that. It's just kind of weird. But
this feels like it should apply.
yeah. But
No.
I wanted to cover this because I know that the Grift Space is going to talk about this tomorrow. It'll probably be a topic on their podcast or whatever. But this literally has nothing to do with the creative aspect of what Disney does, but they will find a way to connect it. There'll be some offhand comment or something like that. And they'll find a way to connect it. All right. Fantastic Four. The filming of Fantastic Four First Steps is moved up by 1 month, is now expected to film in the U.S. very soon. Now, this makes me wonder, if they're going to be moving it up, does that mean they're going to be changing the release date so that it's not going up against Superman? Thoughts on that?
I still think it's like, it should like not be pushed too far down because it needs to. They've already like set the story, so to have it like out of order wouldn't be like very wise for the story. If they're,
I don't know if it'll be out of order. I do think it's interesting because we're at a point right now where I don't know what will do better, Superman or Fantastic Four. Because I mean, despite what the Chuds say, Marvel is still pretty strong property. People have been excited for some good Fantastic Four project for a long time, and this has the potential to be that.
I would say like push it back 2 to 3 weeks, but not months. That feels like an overstep, not first step.
I mean, if they can schedule it and get it done in time, that's fine. I mean, when does this get released?
I just don't want it to be like
We have at
replacing
least a year,
Blade.
right?
Yeah. Well, this is coming out, I think, 2 weeks after Superman, right? Isn't it 2 weeks after? I think it's 2 weeks after.
Honestly, would hate if it was replacing Blade because that's too much months. And I'm like, I want to see it.
Well, this is definitely coming out before Blade if they have a production schedule ready for
Christian
it.
here says, I think Fantastic Four will be taken a bit better compared to Superman because Superman is now sharing the movie with 10,000 other heroes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Stranger even brought up the Blade thing there, moving it because of that. I wouldn't be shocked. What do we think about the whole Blade thing just in general? I mean, are we ready for a Blade movie now? Or
I wonder if the problem is trying to figure out how to incorporate vampires in the world where there hasn't been any hint of a vampire.
It's a comic book universe. You could just do an alternate reality thing, or there's all types of
take
things.
a page from a Fantastic Four in another.
Well, I mean, they could
universe.
always like the thing is they could always kind of do what they did before, where like vampire, because in folklore vampires are kind of like hidden characters anyway.
Yeah.
So like the idea of them just existing but nobody knowing about them, especially in a world that already has superheroes, they could probably.
I mean, if you're in a nightclub, you probably came across one.
That is, I mean, literally the setup of the first Blade movie is about vampires existing in this world and nobody knows about
and
it.
these families that
Mm.
control everything because they have so much
Yes.
money and they've been around for so long.
Mhm.
Maybe they're a band.
All right, let's move over here. This is a good one.
What's
Thunderbolt
the-
costumes. These are the ones from the trailer. I thought this was a fun
I
post.
was just thinking about this.
Yeah.
What was the Scooby Doo vampires that were a band?
Oh, I have no idea.
I want to say Spice Girls, but I don't think that's the correct one.
Yeah, I don't remember the name for those.
But that's what reminded me when I said band.
Was it Spice Ghouls? Maybe it was Spice Girls or something like that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Hex Girls. That's it.
Hex Girls.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I remember that. All right, so the only one that we don't see the full costume for is Ghost because the Ghost mask is off in this picture. But this gives us a shot of the suits in the dark room. They're not very bright, but this is all of the different designs from the waist up. And people were asking which ones are better compared, the ones in the Thunderbolt movie or the ones in their first appearance, I guess.
I mean, I like the color of the early ones, but we're also dealing with a lot different lighting. It's a lot darker lighting in the
Yes.
Thunderbolts movie. I don't know if it's going to be all that way throughout the whole thing.
Also, I think they might be darker because it's a covert team. Maybe they're not supposed to
True.
be bright. Or whatever.
I think. What if it's because of the name change that people are rumored that it's going to happen?
Oh, Dark Avengers. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's in the dark room. So I'm going to go down the road here and give my opinions on these, right? So I really enjoyed Ghost in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I like the character a lot. I thought the story was really compelling. I thought the suit was really interesting, but it definitely needed to be more refined. And I like the mask better in Thunderbolts. That mask that she's wearing. The suit is fine. I don't have a particular problem with it, but the mask definitely needed an upgrade, and I'm glad they changed it. As far as U.S. Agent, that is the black, red, and white suit from the comics, and I'm totally okay with that. 100% okay with that. Matter of fact, John Walker's look kind of leans more into the darker colors anyway, so I kind of like that. What are y'all's thoughts on those two so far, if you had to give an opinion? I know you kind of, Bob, you said it was just kind of dark or whatever. I didn't know if
I
you
think
wanted
which one that felt like a real downgrade is actually Taskmaster's. I think
to-
Taskmaster
downgrade?
because it looks like simple.
I actually think Taskmaster's mask is a massive upgrade from the
Yeah,
other one.
well, but I like the color of the suit.
Well, I think of all the characters on here, Taskmaster is the one that's like the blank slate where I feel like
Right.
they kind of did Taskmaster a disservice in Black Widow. I want to see Taskmaster's personality in this movie.
For me, I like both of Red Guardian suits. I don't really have an issue, but at least
Yeah,
this
they
one
look about
fits
the
him.
same to me.
Le-
Yeah.
The one thing I do love about so I noticed this the other day when I was watching it, and I don't know if it's going to be a joke in the movie, but it's almost like they have abs like stitched onto the bottom suit. It's like because he's got a big gut, so they just put like abs on it in that bottom.
Yeah, it looks like he has an 18 pack.
Yeah, it's so funny to me. It's so fucking funny to me. But the rest of that suit is fine. I do like the mask on Red Guardian better than the mask from the Black Widow movie. As far as Bucky goes, I mean, Bucky doesn't really have a suit per se.
he has an arm. We haven't seen the arm yet.
Yeah. Yelena, I actually don't like Yelena's hair in Thunderbolts. I liked it better longer.
Well, the tied back is just practical.
Yeah. I just preferred it longer, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And the suit looks just like it's like a regular, like, I don't know, a suit you would see some assassin wear.
I wonder
So-
if she's going to accidentally like do the pose that she keeps complaining about. You're a poser, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, she already did it a couple times in Black Widow.
I will say though, after seeing that trailer, the reception online is people seem to be very interested in this movie, and I'm glad because I think the movie's got a good, solid hook. And we don't have a Sentry look to compare to, but in the comics, it's like yellow and blue. So
And if you think about it, if you watch like all of Scarlett Johansson's appearance, you have whiplash of her hair.
you know what? I went back to her first appearance in the Iron Man movies, and I'm like, her hair looks so bad in that movie. That curly like thing that she has going on. What is that? It's so bad.
That was the only movie where she actually dyed her hair for it.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this here with X-Men 97. So we're gonna have to wait a while for season 2. 2026 is the estimated release
Doesn't
date for
surprise
season
me.
2.
No.
I don't
And-
think this is accurate too. Like I think
So you don't think this is real then?
no.
This is a spotty site, but it wouldn't surprise
Okay.
me if it gets delayed because
Well-
of behind the scenes.
Well, right here, this is part of the reason why, maybe because Bo DeMeo chimed in, because the original plans for season 2 are now being canned, and they're redoing some of the storyline. So
That would make more sense that it gets pushed, but if it was because they had like a already like drawn out like plot for season 2,
yeah,
so it felt weird to scrap that.
I like the direction of it, but I feel like the problem is, and again, I'm not siding with Bo or Marvel in this because we still don't know what the fuck, and I'm not paying for his OnlyFans to find out, so we don't know what the fuck happened, right? I think there's a legal issue like with Andrew Kreisberg and Supergirl and Flash, where if they take him off of the credits, they have to change certain elements of the story legally. They can't use it. So I'm wondering if now they're trying to cut all ties with him so they can rewrite everything and not pay him for what he did. Because they probably don't want to have any business relationship with him anymore.
Yeah.
I know that there was multiple writers, so I would say cut everything that he thought of and use the aspects of.
That's what I think they're doing.
Well, the thing to also keep in mind, if you look at the credits of the first season, a lot of the episodes were written by Bo DeMaio. So if season 2 is anything similar, it's a lot of changes going to have to happen.
Or make
we'll
like
just
a,
have to please
or make it enough different to where it strays from him, but also have the similar plot.
Well, the thing is also a lot of the storylines he's using, like these are famous Marvel storylines. He doesn't own.
It's just
these,
his specific writing, which means they might
Yeah.
be going in and like rewriting the stuff that he wrote so that they don't have to give him credit for it.
Rewriting his writing habits.
Right. But also this will be a good test, right? So if this season comes out and the season is solid, then they can't attribute all of the success to Bo. It would be like, well, we have other talented writers.
I mean,
for us, you know?
there is a team behind this. Bo didn't do the whole show, so
Right.
yeah.
So also this is the crazy thing. He was on another podcast recently talking about the shit that went on behind the scenes of X-Men 97. And
I'm not shocked.
I'm just very curious. We know that, so now it's made public the agreement that was made with him and Disney, right? We know what their agreement was. He broke his agreement with them.
Yeah.
So that already brings into question the credibility of anything that he has to say, which is why it's hard for me to just go, oh, I'm going to side with him. Even though I do agree that there is probably some truth in what he's talking about. It's hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, he's 100% being honest, because he already broke his agreement with Disney, which was to not talk about the show to media, to not go to podcasts, not do interviews, anything like that. He already broke those rules. And then on the recent podcast he was on, they asked him about his legal issues with Disney. And he was literally saying, I'm paraphrasing this, but literally he was saying, giving details of this and saying that he was not supposed to be talking about it. I'm probably not supposed to talk about this. And I don't know what I can say. And so like, these are all things that he was saying while I was on this podcast. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with him.
Yeah.
It just feels like at some points there's going to be a whole bunch revealed, and
Defunct says, watch.
I honestly don't think it's going to oh yeah, he's adorable. He's being cute right now. He burned himself out, but
My
I think
cat's like right there.
when all this comes out, I have a feeling it's probably not going to be good for him.
Yeah. Dane says he seems unwell, to be honest. I mean, possibly.
He does.
Possibly. Anthony says he's not even involved with season 2. How the fuck would he know? Probably because he knows they're erasing his story. That's probably what it is. And I would assume, right? Look, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and this is me giving him a little bone, I guess. He probably still talks to some of the people in the office. I'm pretty sure, even though they're not supposed to, he probably still has people in there that he's talking to. So, all right. So people always ask me, when these guys talk about stuff dying, Marvel's dying, Star Wars is dying, blah blah blah, and pointing to that and saying, "Oh, look at how they're failing and stuff." A website recently posted a list of like the biggest franchises in the world, and I want to show you why it is they only talk about primarily those two franchises and sometimes a few other things. This is why. Highest grossing film franchises of all time. Number 1 is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and number 2 is Star Wars.
By a huge margin.
It's funny that you skip over Spider-Man because that's Marvel.
Oh, it's 3. Yeah. So Spider-Man, you're right. Yeah, true. I don't like why did they do it that way? I was looking at it like,
because
Sony owns number Spider-Man. 3 is Star Wars, but Spider-Man is number 2, still Marvel. So 2 Marvel properties and 1 and 2 is Star Wars and number 3. And then I guess 4 would be the Harry Potter universe, the Wizarding World. So if you look at those 4 things, you'll notice that those are the 4 things that really get focused on the Chud channels. And then of course at number 11 you have Lord of the Rings properties jumping in there. And yeah, so clearly Marvel is not suffering. The combined total of both of their properties there at the top is over $40 billion.
And it's kind of funny that Avatar only has 2 movies, but it's in the top 14.
It is. I was just going to add, I imagine they for the Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland ones, those are included with both MCU and Spider-Man totals, I would assume. So a little crossover, I assume.
Oh, was it?
I don't know that.
Included? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm guessing because they're both MCU and Spider-Man.
If they were excluded, I think it would be more with the Marvel Cinematic Universe if we put them back in.
Even if you subtract Spider-Man, Spider-Man would still be in the top 18, I guess, is this list. But Marvel would still be number 1. Would still be number 1.
Oh
by
yeah,
a lot.
Marvel is still Marvel's 3 times bigger than any of the other.
If you put Marvel, if you put Spider-Man with Marvel, you would get 40.
No, but we're saying there's probably a little bit of crossover, so we don't know the exact amount. That's what he was saying. Because if I don't know if Tom Holland's Spider-Man is included in that at all. I don't know. I'm going to assume it is because of the billions of dollars those movies have made. Either way, Marvel is number 1, and Star Wars is number 3, and those are the ones they constantly talk about that are dying. They're on life support.
Yeah.
But what about like all these other things? Despicable Me, Jurassic, are they on life support? Because look how much less they're making than the Marvel movies. So clearly something is wrong, right? Something must be going on for them making so much less than those.
Now listen, Despicable Me is destroying the MCU right now. Just
another
don't look
one.
At numbers.
Another one that's kind of confusing is DC Extended Universe and then Batman. They're both DC.
It's an overlap probably. Well, no, there was no Batman film in the DC Extended Universe.
Batman
I assume those are just Batman movies.
I don't think Batman v Superman would be included as a solo Batman movie. Most likely, even if it did, that movie didn't make that much, so it wouldn't matter.
That'd be the only one in the DCEU. I would say might go into the Batman.
I still like. If anything, I want like from the DC old universe is actually a Earth 2 version of Batman. That would have been awesome. I'd love for them to do other like those Earth 2 like characters too. I love JSA characters. They gave us a little bit in the Black Adam movie and they ripped it away from us. So, especially if it's that what's it, Dean Morgan was the Thomas Wayne of
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah.
That would have been awesome to see.
Either way, well, here's the thing, Serenity. That's not really the point I'm making. The point is that they pick them because they are the biggest ones, right? They're going after the things that are the most popular things because they get the most views for their channels.
Yeah.
That's really the point that I'm making. It doesn't really matter if their projects are super popular or not, it's an umbrella franchise. Lower selling movies and TV shows get lifted up by the more successful projects. That's why it's all considered a cinematic universe.
There's a reason why you don't see Nerdrotic and Ryan Canal and Geeks and Gamers going to film festivals and talking about the cool movies they saw.
Right.
Because they don't care. It's all about bashing the popular stuff.
Well, because the cool movies that they see would either be Marvel movies that they'd have to admit they liked, or something that's not going to make them any money. That's really the only. That's the two options they have.
Yeah.
So
and they have room to make like bad movies, but not intentional bad movies. So they like Marvel has a like.
Well, 3Dub, I would hope nobody's making intentionally.
No,
bad
no,
movies,
like
so.
no. I mean, like like they have room to
Can't
make
wait
like
for the new
Black,
Sharknado.
Black Widow and Marvels. They have room to have box office failures.
Yeah.
I would say. Not
Well,
intentional though.
The funny thing is, Serenity is like you look at someone like Eric July who has his own company. He admits that they put out multiple projects, and not everyone that likes his company is going to buy every single project. Suggesting that looking at each sale of each book is going to fluctuate because you're going to have some people that like this character but don't like that character. So even that's not really a metric on the quality of the entire project or the properties, because not only is it done with different characters, but there's different writers, there's different directors, there's different actors, there's different creative teams. Each individual project would have to be looked at as a singular thing in itself, or as a trilogy in that film, opposed to the entire Marvel universe. That's why saying that Marvel is dying is such a dumb statement, because there's so many different things that Marvel is doing. It doesn't make any sense to believe that Marvel in itself is dying. We just had Deadpool and Wolverine make over $1 billion.
I wonder.
Well, that's not every Marvel project. Exactly. That's the fucking point.
I wonder if it's their enjoyment of Marvel Cinematic Universe that is dying.
But what does that even mean, though?
I don't know. I'm just.
I just
I just pointed out that every project is done with different directors, different writers, different actors. So if you did not enjoy the Marvels, does that mean you're not going to like Deadpool?
I enjoy.
No, that's what I mean.
Hey,
it's two different things.
I just appreciate how Eric July is going to complain about how how Marvel runs its business, and now he's trying to build up his own thing, and he's running it pretty much like a Marvel business.
Right, pretty much. Paigey has joined us an hour and 30 minutes into the stream.
Well, he's usually 10:30. Now he's like 30 minutes late.
Oh yeah, that's true. What are you doing? Are you home? Are you out on your phone somewhere? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know. But I mean, the whole point is, and I thought about this quite extensively, like with DC properties, right? When people talk about DC having low quality projects, you have to talk about exactly which project you mean, because one movie could look low budget as fuck and the other one could look extremely high quality. Does that mean that DC as a brand is bad, or was that one project bad? And that's when we go back to the whole idea of like whether or not something is successful as an umbrella brand, or if it's not successful as an individual movie or TV show. Because I think The Marvels was actually a pretty good movie. I had a lot of fun watching The Marvels. I don't think it was bad. Paige would say it's mid. But
even the
I
mid.
wasn't a fan, but I didn't think it was the worst thing ever.
So
Even
would you
if
say it's mid? It was mid for you?
I guess so, yeah.
even
I didn't say that movie was mid. I just said it wasn't very good.
even
It
if
was
it's like
below mid.
unwhelming, it still can be a good movie. Like,
Well, my point though is that when you look at something like that and you go, okay, I didn't like this movie. Say, for example, you did not like the Marvels for whatever reason. To assume that the very next Marvel movie is going to be bad with an entirely different team making it is a really stupid way to view media. It's
Yes.
really stupid because Deadpool and Wolverine had a completely different story, completely different cast of characters, different directors, all of that. So to assume that it was going to do bad because the Marvels did bad, saying that's tarnishing the brand when it's a completely different thing is so fucking weird to me. The more I thought about it, the more it made my brain hurt. I'm like, is this how we view things now? It's like, all it is just like, this company made this, so now it's going to be bad 100%? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, do we have to go back to the old old reliable, the old reliable comparison
What's that?
with
Food?
McDonald's.
There we go.
Well, Marvel is McDonald's. Like it's the most
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah.
They've got that stuff that you can rely on. You go in, you can, whether it's from your childhood, whether it's the Avengers or it's something new that you really like whatever it is that came out recently, Black Panther, whatever it is. But then they're going to experiment. They're going to bring out those new products. They're going to bring out the cheesy covered balls or whatever they're called. And you're like, I'm not too sure about these cheesy covered balls. What's in the balls? I don't know. That's the mystery. That's why you watch the movie or buy the product to find out what's in the balls.
I wonder
if they don't work, they discontinue the product.
Right.
They might not go on like they did with Eternals. It just didn't work as its own solo thing. But you know what they might bring out? They might bring out a movie. They might bring out a movie with the Eternals in it. It could be the bacon loaded cheeseburger with cheesy covered balls in the burger.
I think you purposely come in here to make me and 3Dub hungry. I think that's exactly why you do this. Because
well, it sounds like I've succeeded. So
yeah. So,
there's 24 McDonald's near here.
There's one near me too.
It's not open though. It's not open though.
By the way, 3Dub, how bad is
not open 24/7? They're open everywhere in Australia 24/7. If they're not,
they are
like
some places here, not every. Well, we have too many of them close together. Some of them close at like 3 a.m, reopen at like 6 a.m.
Mine closes at 12.
So 3Dub, are you where the storm is?
Yeah.
And you're still online and everything?
Man.
I saw a video of a house
hey, what's funny is
he walks out his bedroom door and he goes, "What's that noise?" Looks down, entire living room is just flooded, and he's just like, you can see.
I'm on the 3rd floor, so I don't get flooded. But
I think he saw it was like it was like I think it was his PlayStation was floating in the water.
No.
You could see it there, and he was like,
"Oh my god!" Well, first of all, I would not have left my PlayStation anywhere near the floor when we're about to have a bad storm. That's a bad idea.
But yeah, the storm is technically on the right side of me. Like basically, I'm on the weak wind of it, so I'm there, but I'm not there.
Okay, got it.
So it's basically a big blowing storm right now. That's all.
Okay, so a couple more things here. We're going to move into the Agatha thing. Again, I will tell everyone before we get there in case people want to dip out or whatever. Actually, I might save it to the very end because there's a couple trailers you want to watch. I will. We'll watch the trailer stuff and then we'll do that at the end. Marvel Studios' current plans for the Scarlet Witch includes a solo film, 2 more WandaVision spin-off series, and a major role in the Mutant Saga. This is all coming from My Time to Shine. My Time to Shine. So, do we think this is true or is this complete bullshit? Just question.
Complete bullshit. I'm because as soon as
it's
like My Time to Shine comes in play, I'm like bullshit.
Well, I you brought up We've Got This Covered, and it's not that, but like it's this reminds me of that. And I remember we got this covered when Tom Holland was cast as Spider-Man, and they had the debate whether or not he would come back to the MCU. And I remember that time period. And then they released some bullshit story about how they made a deal for a new trilogy. It's going to be a high school trilogy, then a college trilogy, then a grown-up trilogy. But the problem was they misspelled it, and on all the memes it said collage trilogy. So Spider-Man's going to go through an art phase for a trilogy.
If we somehow do get a Wanda solo film, but that's it, and the rest of it is bullshit, I will not say they were accurate.
Dave thinks it's just to trigger chuds.
I think they're just guessing.
Yeah.
I think, well, that's what it is. It's pure guessing. It's like sitting here and it's like, there's going to be a Constantine movie in the DCU or something like that, or it's just guessing. And then by the time that even gets around to whether you can be proven wrong or something, people forget that you even tweeted it out. I mean, those accounts just tweet nonsense all day. They'll tweet 10
like
things
this one,
a day.
A major role in both of the upcoming Avengers films. That seems more realistic than any of the other stuff they said.
Listen, right now Wanda's dead in the MCU. Will she come back? Probably. But we'll just have to see. And Avengers seems like the most likely, especially if we do a multiversal Wanda.
All right, before we watch these trailers, Agatha All Along hits 9.3 million views in 1 week on Disney Plus. So pretty solid. Actually, I believe they said the numbers went up a little bit. I think it's over like 11 now, like after all the numbers have come in.
Last time I saw it was like 5 million.
Yeah, it keeps going up because the numbers are coming in and people are watching it. And this is pretty good for a show that no one asked for.
Yeah.
It is important
Never
to know
mind,
that it would be a bit
breakout
skewed because they would be including the first 2 episodes. So really, each one would have got about like 5 or something. So
Yeah,
that
but that's what Penguin got too. Penguin got like
that's
5.3
probably
or
the figure
something.
that 3Dub saw. He probably saw the episode 1 figures. and that
Oh,
was the
gotcha.
5.
Right. So that you were looking
And
at
they've
the split up
included the
numbers.
episode 2 figures in with that, because they do that with like those like what Amazon Prime shows that release like the first 2 or 3 episodes. They always do that to make it seem like a lot more people watch the show when you divide it by 2 or 3, and that's the actual amount.
So, Bob, you didn't watch this week's episode, but 3Dub,
Nope.
are you even watching it at all?
No, I haven't seen episode 3. I've saw the first 15 minutes and then forgot about it.
And Paige, you're not watching it, right?
No, I watched it because I got that. Remember, I told you I was waiting until like a certain day to activate that offer that Disney Plus gave me, so I did it. I didn't watch the 3rd one. Wait, how many episodes are out?
3.
Okay, yeah. So because there was another episode. There was one left that I'd watched. So yeah, I watched the first 2.
Right.
Were they parodying a show in the second episode or no? Because they're obviously parodying like crime shows.
Nothing in the second
like,
episode.
Yes,
the first one, yes.
The first one was parodying a crime show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was parodying
I thought-
Mayor of Easttown, which was incredibly obvious. But I was like, well, that's the whole point. It's meant to be obvious. But
I got the impression they were parodying CSI Miami.
I mean, it's probably a lot of different parodies.
it's crime
the
shows,
fact
yeah.
it was called like it was Agnes of Westview, so it's like
Yeah.
Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah.
But like, what was so there was no parody in episode 2
Unless I didn't catch
I don't
it.
because
recall
it was
anything, yeah.
filmed a bit differently. But that was just because obviously it wasn't-
episode 3 also is sort of a take on another like type of show. So it feels like they're trying to do the WandaVision thing, all over again, and that's fine because that's what people want from this. I had a good time with the 3rd episode. I don't want to spoil it or anything like that, obviously, because you guys haven't seen it and whatnot. But I think the show is doing exactly what WandaVision did. It feels very similar. We just don't have Wanda in it. And I know some people probably like, oh, I want Wanda or whatever. It wouldn't even make sense for Wanda to be in Westview again. Like after everything that happened, it just wouldn't make any sense. And with the spoilers that we got from Funko Pop, which again, I'm not going to talk about them until later on in case people want to dip out. It sounds to me like they're setting up some major stuff to move forward in the MCU. And I think that's pretty exciting. I think a lot of people are not liking this just because they've been told that it's not good. And so therefore they're like, oh, it must be shit because someone said it's going to be shit. And that's kind of
getting used to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it doesn't have to be anybody's favorite. It doesn't even have to be the best thing you've seen from Marvel, right? Mm-hmm. But to say that anything that comes out that is not made specifically for dude bros is bad is just the dumbest fucking take. Don't watch. If you don't want to see something, don't watch it. It's just that simple to me.
I also think it's bizarre, like the whole narrative that like straight white guys can't enjoy a show about witches. Listen, if you don't want to see a show about witches, that's fine. But like, why couldn't they enjoy a show about witches? I don't get that at all.
Well, I mean, my whole thing is, and I wanted to make a video about this. I haven't done it yet, but if there's something that you don't like, that doesn't mean that no one else gets to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't go into a restaurant and be like, I know you have 25 things on this menu that I don't like. I just like 2 things. All 25 of those things need to go away because me and my friends don't like them. So nobody else can have it. That just doesn't make any sense. You don't go into a McDonald's and say, you can't have cheesy balls because I don't want cheesy balls.
No, cheesy
You know
covered balls. Cheesy covered balls.
But you don't get to say that. Let the market decide that. Like Paige said, if something doesn't work, they'll just not continue it. It'll just go away. Yeah. But to actively ask for something to not exist is different from just going, I don't like this.
Yeah, well, especially if you don't try it. It's like if you saw the poster for the cheesy covered balls and you're like, no, I am boycotting. I am striking against these cheesy covered balls. They are not what I want within my McDonald's system. It's like, bro, you don't have to order them. It's like, no, they might come in contact with my fries.
I mean, they could. That is true. That is
I don't know. Would they cook
the?
You might know, Egg. Would they cook the cheesy covered balls in the fryer?
Maybe. Not sure.
Where the chicken nuggets go? I don't know.
It depends. It depends how they're made. I don't know. I don't know how the cheesy covered balls are made.
Sure?
Yes,
we gotta figure out exactly how they make this fictional item we've just created.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that what are they covering? Is it a meatball? Is it what type of ball is it? Is
I
it a
think it would
ball
be
of
like
dough?
a tater tot covered in.
I feel like it'd be like
dough.
a pizza dough ball.
Ooh, I would
Maybe,
That's
definitely
a
maybe-
that's a big cat, by the way.
Let's see, where's it at here?
He's a kitchen.
All right, so we have
Oh,
an
there's his
interview
head.
here- we have an interview here with Sebastian Stan, and it's quite interesting because we tried to figure out about what if this is going to be the Winter Soldier, if it's going to be, brainwashing, if it's going to be just Bucky. Who's this character going to be? And so the question gets asked here, and he gives an answer that is an obvious, like your PR person tells you can't say too much, but it is an interesting answer. So let's listen to this.
Yeah. And then we saw you in the Thunderbolts, the new Marvel movie that's coming out at the end of the thing.
Thunderbolts.
I know.
Notice how he said that? Almost like that's like
there's
not the
almost
name of it.
nothing you can say, but I do have one question for you. At the end of the trailer, you've got a gun and you're shooting at the other characters. And are you Bucky Barnes or are you Winter Soldier in that scene?
I think a little bit of both.
Oh,
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Yeah, it's such an odd group. We talk about the movie as being kind of like
This is called changing the subject. Go on.
yeah, it's like St. Elmo's Fire or the other great John Hughes movie I'm blanking on right now.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Like it's
Oh,
just the
not
oddest
John
group,
Hughes.
and they come together, and hopefully they don't kill each other.
yeah, no, but I like that movie.
Maybe I don't kill them first. So.
Okay, I didn't think I'd get the answer out of you, but at least we know you were one of the two. Or perhaps a
Still
third.
around.
Who knows? Sebastian Stan, he's got two.
So what do we think about that? Any comments about that?
Well, it's obviously super. He can't say too much. So actually, I have a cool story. Dermot Mulroney was recently at Horror Hound convention.
Okay.
He was talking about how. Have you guys seen Scream 6?
Yes.
No, well,
So,
go ahead.
One of the things he said during an interview, essentially, he didn't want to reveal too much. So what he told people is, "Well, I'm a cop whose daughter is killed by the Ghostface killer." And then once he told one news outlet that, they started scrubbing it, and they're like, "You can't report that. No, you can't tell people anything outside you're a cop." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't think I told him that much," because there's way bigger spoilers he could say than that. That's just the basis for his character. And they're like, "No, you can't even say that." So, and that's just for Scream, and I'm sure there's big people keeping Scream guard. As for Marvel, I'm sure it's way more private.
Well, it's also a thing because like
nothing.
they don't film the entire movie. Like they film their individual bits and pieces and
Yeah.
stuff. So they don't know how it pieces together. Like a big
And
reveal in their
they film
storyline.
stuff
could
that's
come-
not even in the movie. It's like some scenes will
Well,
not even
yeah.
go into the
Well,
movie,
yeah, but
so-
it's also like you could be like a pivotal story point in the movie, but the reveal of what your story is or what it's been leading up to doesn't have you in the scene. It could be other people on a computer or something going, "Oh shit, this is how it connects."
Because
you don't know that,
because like when Bucky like shoots at the people, I don't think they're in the car, so I don't think they're even on set. I think that
of course.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
think
might have been a
he doesn't know
liability.
he doesn't know what he's shooting at until he saw the trailer.
Well, the other thing is that it's like the better way to look at it is if you work in like Walmart, right? You're somebody that works in Walmart and you're stocking an aisle full of cheesy covered balls, right? That's what you're putting up on.
By the way, I
Of course, what
googled
else
cheesy
do you
covered
stock?
balls. The first thing that popped up was just the cheese balls, like the cheese balls.
Oh, from like the puffy cheese balls or whatever.
yeah, like the ones.
First thing I
So
thought
you're in
was like all
Walmart.
cheese balls.
You're in Walmart. You're stocking the shelves with cheesy covered balls. Somebody on the other side of the store
and you're salivating. While
yes, they're thinking about it, but they're
stocking the
not there
cheesy
with
covered
you.
balls.
They're thinking about it though, but they're over on the other side of the store, and they are stocking the assless chaps section. So you have
that would be
the
you
cheesy-
in that
Very
scenario.
popular
I'll be in the
Walmart.
cheesy covered balls. You be in the arseless chaps.
So if somebody were to ask you what's going on in that store, you wouldn't be like, you couldn't say, "Oh, they're doing assless chaps on the other side of the store, and I'm doing the cheesy covered balls." You wouldn't know. So you can't spoil that because you wouldn't know about it. And that's the same way on a film set, because it's quite possible that they're filming scenes at the same time in different places. So you may get like a second director doing a pickup scene somewhere while you're doing an action scene, and the stunt choreographer is doing a scene with somebody else, in another location. So all of that's going on, and you don't have any idea how all of it's going to come together. That's movie magic.
He might literally like shoot a action scene, and they be like, okay, shoot it normally. So he shoots it, and then they say, okay, now shoot it as Winter Soldier, and they just reshoot it all, and it's a little bit different.
Because
and
the saying is, Bob, I believe, and you would probably know this as well, is that movies are made in the editing room. Is basically what they say. Like that's where the movies are made.
Yeah.
When you're shooting a movie, that's not the film. The film is whatever happens when it leaves that editing room and gets put out into theaters. That's the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. This is a tweet that's been kind of problematic, and I posted this in one of the titles on one of the channels. Can't remember which one, but it's like body shaming Sebastian Stan, and it's here. We see the picture and the tweet from a random account, Nerdy Girl Creates, I guess. People mad because I pointed out a character that's supposed to be a fit super soldier in the MCU went from peak to dad bod. They keep doing Seb and Bucky dirty. And then it shows here.
In what universe does he have a dad bod?
Well, I'll show you the picture that they're referring to here. And then this is from, Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then this is the shot from the trailer from Thunderbolts. And so they're considering this to be like a downgrade of the character because of that. Because of the scene.
I think actually, it's just a weird pose. I
actually think this is okay. So here's my theory, and I'm going to point out that Sebastian Stan has talked about having body dysphoria because he had to gain a bunch of weight for a film and then had to lose it again quickly, and it's just caused him. It just fucked with him, right? So my theory is that this is a retired Bucky who was not doing anything related to like Winter Soldier shit. And that he has to come out of retirement to do what he has to do with the Thunderbolts. That's what I think is going on here. I think that's going to be the narrative they're going with.
Mean, given his past history, I could see himself wanting to distance himself from action.
Yeah. But then here, the tweet here goes, what dad bod? Has this person even seen a dad bod? What is supposed to be an insult? Even if it was, but it isn't at all. Stop being chronically online and touch some grass. And that's kind of...
Yeah.
How I feel about it. Like, it really is weird behavior, this like constant being concerned about actors and whether or not they look exactly right for a role or how they look in a trailer. I mean, we can do so many things in the movie. You might not even notice it. You paused it on one frame and you're like, oh, look, he doesn't look perfectly ripped in this one frame from this trailer that I'm watching in 720p. So clearly there must be something wrong with him. It's just weird.
They do love to cherry pick their frames.
Every frame is a pause, right? That's what they say. All right, we have one more thing here we're going to look at. Then we're going to watch a couple of trailers, and then I will talk about the Agatha stuff if people want to stick around for that. All right, so this is a deleted scene from Deadpool and Wolverine called Elevator Ride. Anybody else seen this one?
No.
Yes, no? Okay.
No.
It's a deleted scene from Deadpool and Wolverine. It's only 42 seconds. And I thought we'd give it a watch here, and we'll see if YouTube makes me remove it or not. So I don't know if they will. All right, here we go.
Mr. Wilson, this may come as a shock to a narcissistic, blathering bag of meat like yourself, but your universe is not the only one in existence.
Oh, please, you think I haven't seen Dr. Ant in the Quantum Burst of Madness?
Your world may seem singular to you, but really it's a teeny tiny weeny speck on a vast cosmic canvas. In reality, the only universe considered the true universe exists on the sacred timeline, and it is guarded zealously by all of us here at the TVA.
That was it. So that was the elevator ride that was taken out of the movie. Not really a lot to unpack there, just a couple of jokes on the ride.
It's probably more of a pacing thing. Like you just sort of pause there for a bit. Yeah. And that like Deadpool and Wolverine, especially for the first half, is like bang, 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 bang.
He doesn't add anything that the story needs. And
I think one of the things that I was disappointed that they took out was his where he did the splits and came up with the elevator. That was my favorite in the trailer. They did it in the trailer, but they took it out of the film. He's basically turned around and then turns back around and goes, like shocked.
All right, so we have a couple trailers that I had lined up here. Moana 2 has a new trailer that came out today. And somebody sent me one called Ballerina. I think it's Ballerina from the John Wick film universe.
Oh, the spinoff, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's.
I
the two
cannot
that
think
I
of the
have here.
person. It's the artist my daughter likes. I can't think of her name.
Somebody
Rina Sawayama.
Rina Sawayama, I think is who it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But I don't know a lot about either of these spin-off movies from John Wick. There's another one apparently, but this is the one we have a trailer for. It's got Anna de Armas, Angelica Houston, Gabriel Byrne, Lance Reddick, Catalina Sandino Marina, Norman Reedus,
Yeah.
Ian McShane is in it, Keanu Reeves. Holy shit! Okay,
It's a stacked cast.
yeah. All right, let's look at this trailer. Paige, you get ready to be triggered.
When am I never not ready to be triggered?
It's from your favorite website on YouTube or your favorite.
Oh,
channel on
Joe
YouTube.
Blow.
Here we go. What did you say, Paige? Say that again.
Is that? I thought it was Magneto. You know, in the
Oh.
X-Men movies, he's always wearing that
It's Ian
getup.
McShane.
I'm actually getting Black Widow vibes from this, which is funny to me too. Final like movie role.
I thought. I'm wondering if they used like deleted footage or something because that shocked me. I thought his last role was supposed to be John Wick 4.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of surprised to see him there.
Is it
I
AI?
mean, it's awesome.
Is it
oh
is
God,
it AI?
it better not be.
I will say in the John Wick world, you kind of sort of just have to like disbelieve a lot of the stuff.
Was
that's
she
going on,
in the?
like-
I've only seen the first 2 John Wicks. Was she in 3 or 4?
No, this appears to be a new character. We saw
Yeah, I
Okay.
think-
Angelica Houston and kind of the setup in 3.
We've seen the ballerina in like 3, I think, but we had like.
I don't think we've seen this specific character, but we saw
No,
the,
we haven't, yeah.
the dancers. Yeah,
But they're probably
Yeah.
going to try and place her in like already seen events in the previous movie or something like that, just to sort
possibly.
of. Oh, she
See
was
you
in the
later,
background or
Spooky Kitty.
something.
All right, here we go.
Hey.
Oh my God! So, do you think they're going to call this a girl boss movie?
Oh,
that's coming up, so-
almost certainly. We will see.
I wonder if
kind of,
Oh, go
after
ahead.
seeing her in James Bond, I'm actually kind of excited to see Ana de Armas in a action vehicle because she was
Yeah.
awesome in last James Bond.
I wonder if we're going to get like another pencil story to that fits her, like not necessarily a pencil, but fits her like killing spree.
Yeah, maybe. We know that they like to
Don't
do
put a
ridiculous
paperclip
stuff.
near her.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So it comes out next year, but no like official release date yet on this one.
I honestly hope he's in the 3rd act and helps her in the 3rd act. That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be in the majority of the film. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. I don't think.
Like kind of like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield just appeared and then was in the 3rd act, basically, kind of like
Yeah. Well, didn't that show get canceled? The one that was on Peacock,
that. Yes. But
the
it was.
Continental. It was called the Continental.
Yeah.
That
was
does
supposed to
seem
be a prequel.
familiar.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
No, but wasn't it because the original person behind John Wick wasn't affiliated with it or something? Like the studio
Oh,
pushed
maybe.
for it.
Yeah. Jazz says the Continental was bad. So
I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it. I haven't seen it.
I don't know. That trailer looked good though. That one
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with. Let's see what else.
It
do we
wasn't
have
what I thought it was
here?
going to be, but I'm
So
like I said, I'm down.
Someone told me to watch the trailer for Canary Black. Is this a real movie? Canary
Yes.
Black?
I thought, yeah, no, it's Kate Winslet spy movie, or not Kate Winslet, Kate Beckinsale spy movie.
That's funny.
I'm
Black
like-
Canary
What is
Black. Like
He only had
Yeah,
3
no,
episodes.
I had to do a joke where I'm like, I can't wait for the sequel, Widow Black.
yeah, weird. All right. Let's see if this is similar to the one we just watched because it does seem like it might be like a spy thriller like woman like I just saw a couple seconds of it here, a woman going around just like murdering people. So let's see. I'll be honest, we're like over. Well, I guess it's over halfway through the trailer or whatever. This looks like a made-for-TV movie, 100%. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel.
yeah,
cinematic at all.
this is not remotely as cool as the other trailer. The other one actually
Yeah.
got me kind of interested, even though I was lukewarm going into it. And this one This one honestly does nothing for me.
We're a minute in. It's just people running around from room to room and having conference calls. It's like, what is it? You mean in the car here? Right here?
I'm to level.
Yeah, right there. Maybe it is. Maybe he decided to work for Amazon.
Maybe the Russian government funded this movie.
Tim Pool.
He's like, you want Black Canary at home? This is Black Canary at home. Canary Black.
Yes.
A Mission Impossible line there, right? It's not just a mission. That's totally like trying to pull in Mission Impossible vibes. And it's not even remotely like that.
Is the next thing It's Impossible? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me
that'll
this. I
pop
would
up.
love that. This looks really generic to me. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing interesting about it at all. The lines feel like they're a decade behind times.
And it really doesn't help. I like click on this. I'm like, ooh, a Black Canary movie. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, especially and also after watching the last trailer, I'm like, yeah, this.
I know, like this feels
generic,
so deflated
bland.
compared
Yeah.
to that. Like the other thing is, and I hate to say this, but it makes me feel like it's one of those movies where it's made. It's like we're gonna give these older actors a roles, like
Yeah.
these roles to play, so that mom and pops can sit at home and feel like they're still in the game. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like to me. And I don't want it to feel that way because I don't think we should be making media with that in mind. But that's what this feels like. And I don't know. Is it based on a book or something?
I don't know.
It seems
It
like
also-
it's based on Black Widow without calling Black Canary without calling her. Well, I would say Black Widow also because it's basically Black Widow is assassin spy who basically this is a version of.
So this movie was finished in 2022, and it was marketed at the Cannes Film Festival, or Cannes, however you pronounce it. And it took a while for it to finally get a release, and
Wow.
outside of that, and it's just probably because it wasn't very good. If I had to
Yeah,
guess.
it doesn't look
Amazon
right.
probably got a good deal on it. or
Is it
something.
really
And
based
I-
on Detective Comics or is that a joke?
No, it's completely. It's like a story made up. Black Canary is
It
an
is-
upcoming thriller from
I-
Pierre Morel.
It's kind of a
And-
shame. Kate Beckinsale hasn't done like an action movie in a while. And like,
By the way, I want to point out
she's
on
still
the
got the chops for it.
on the Wikipedia at the very top, it says for the comic book superhero, see Black Canary. So it's like they already know that this is literally going to confuse people.
Mhm.
So that's kind of funny.
I
All
wonder
right,
if it's better than Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey is
Paige-
underrated.
Yeah, I was gonna say Paige also likes Birds of Prey. So
Yeah, no, Birds of Prey is good. Good movie.
apparently there's a movie with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. We're not gonna watch that one.
Mhm.
There's a new Jesse Eisenberg movie called A Real Pain. Oh, we
I
have
think
to
it's-
watch this.
I think isn't that the one where the thing where he goes to Poland or something?
I don't know. We
Oh
have to
yeah, the
watch this,
Last of Us 2 trailer also came out just by the
Oh,
way.
did it?
Yep.
Okay, I'll look for it. Okay, so A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. Is that Macaulay Culkin's brother or something? I don't know who that is.
I want to say it's his younger brother. I'm pretty sure it's the one that played Fuller in the movies.
Yeah. It is
Oh,
the
okay.
one.
All right.
Yeah.
So with
Stop
Jesse
drinking the
Eisenberg
Pepsi.
doing this, is this a okay? If this is a comedy, are we going back to like his era of like funnier roles now that he's doing?
I don't know.
like,
Both of these actors are Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. It can either be a comedy or it could be some like depressing shit.
All right, let's see.
And forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Boner is not available.
Hey, Benji, I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already. Oh, God, you made it.
What's up, cuz? I got some good shit from when we land.
Wait, you're not like taking weed into Poland, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Benji?
They don't give a shit about that stuff.
Oh my god, this ADR is so bad; it's annoying me
Mhm.
because they're walking through this big area where there should be some background noise, and you're not hearing anything. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Again. Literally, they are in a booth doing this, and it's so obvious.
I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already. Oh, God, you made it.
What's up, cuz? I got some good shit from when we land.
Wait, you're not like taking weed into Poland, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Benji?
They don't give a shit about that stuff. Man.
I think they very much do give a shit
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Could they maybe add a bit more
Gators and
background
I
noise?
are
It
cousins.
just feels
Yeah,
weird.
If you watch like a lot of trailers for like specific movies, like the trailer will have different audio than the actual movie. They'll probably add some like that doesn't necessarily mean they record all those people behind there doing it because it's probably loud as shit, but they'd add some sort of like ambient like fill a crowd sort
Yeah,
of.
it just
noise.
makes it look weird. So
Well, I think it's just so people can hear shit.
well,
Like,
hearing,
and it stands
hearing
out.
stuff in trailers is overrated. I want it to be really loud so I can't hear
Yeah.
anything they're saying.
We used to be joined at the hip. Our grandma was from here, so Dave arranged for us to join this geriatric Polish tour with you fine people. That's the way we get by. I really needed this, man. I know that it's tough for you to leave your boy. The way we get by. I don't really have anything going on.
I know it's been a tough few months for you, so
I also want to say that I know you're not the most comfortable person with people.
I'm not.
No. Does it look real?
Well, they're twice the size of you in metal, so
You sure you don't want to come up here?
I'm good. Can you take my picture?
That's what I'm talking about. Marcia.
Thank you, David.
But it's amazing that you're here, putting yourself out there so boldly for me.
Thank you, man.
Let's go smoke a joint.
Word of warning, this will be a tour about Pen.
Our grandmother and Benji were super close.
I mean, she was the coolest. I've just been in a real funk, I guess, since she died. Just haven't.
You ain't alone. You're looking back at the horrors of your family history.
We completely cut ourselves off from anyone else's true pain.
Would you consider this like a dark comedy? It feels like a dark comedy to me. It seems like a serious subject matter with humor, kind of.
I need to see a bit more where it goes, but it has that potential.
Why are you doing this?
Oh man, you used to like feel everything.
Obviously, there are triggers along the way.
We're not at the right station.
And you didn't wake me up.
Oh, you're having such a good nap, dude.
Jesus
you were like,
Christ, you're on a tour
sorry.
group
Yeah,
of
I know. I
people.
just didn't have the heart to wake you up.
Has he always been like this? I love him, and I hate him.
You're a flying Jesus.
And I want to be him.
You used to cry about everything.
Yeah, it was awful. Who wants to cry about everything?
We're in a Holocaust tour. If now is not the time to grieve, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm waiting for a disgusting film, but not Ben's name to pop up on the trailer.
I was waiting. Yeah, I was watching for that. Collider. Where's disgusting film? It's not in there.
You ain't alone.
What Searchlight? So it's going to be like very artsy.
Yeah, it looks like it's
very
going
much
to feel
a
of
Jason
like.
or Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Yeah, it looks like it like even like Little Miss Sunshine or something like that.
Let's see. You said Last of Us 2, right?
I sent it on X.
Oh, okay.
You know what I started watching last night? That the new American, that Ryan Murphy makes. It's American Everything. It's now. I finished the Menendez brothers one. Then there's another one out about Aaron Hernandez, and I was watching it last night. And I'm fucking like 2 minutes into the second episode, and there's a dick, and I'm like, "What's with the dick?" There's just like an erect penis on the screen, and I was like,
I don't know. It's what is this you're talking? Maybe I've seen it before.
It's no, it only came out this week. It's like American Sports Story. Like, you might not like Aaron Hernandez. He like
baseball, right?
No, you know Tom Brady. You must know Tom Brady.
Football.
Like, yeah, so he played it with Tom Brady in his NFL team, and he like got involved like with like gangsters and stuff. Went to prison and like killed himself in prison. But he's like secretly gay as well.
What is it?
Like,
what is it on? Like what streaming service is it on?
Hulu, I think.
Oh, okay.
But it's weird because it's on Disney Plus over here. So it's on Disney Plus. You open up penis.
All right, so this is Last of Us. I'm excited for this because I loved the first season. So let's see what this trailer is.
I kind of like that they gave us nothing.
Well, I like. I mean, it looks scary. Like it looks properly scary. So.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of Pedro Pascal, which I kind of expected. I didn't know if they'd vary from the game a whole lot, but
I think it's I think it's led to.
Looks
I think many
promising,
people,
man.
Yeah, I think you'd have to assume he gets knocked off.
Well, I mean, the end. To my understanding, the end of the game and the end of the first season were at least somewhat similar. And the end of the first season does kind of give him a setup where he does something sympathetic that you can understand, but like he also damns the human race. So a fate for him coming up makes sense.
I think they're also going to stretch it out. Like it's not going because isn't The Last of Us 2 a longer game?
Yes.
So,
and there's
that's
major things that happen in that I don't think they're going to do on the show because it would get rid of one of their major characters, and I don't think they're ready to get rid of
I think they will. I think they will.
I think they will.
I think they're going to make people think that I think they're going to make people think they're not going to do it, and then they will do it. And I think they might do it at a very unexpected time, like shift the point in the story where it happens. Not by a lot, though. I think they'll only move it ahead, maybe an episode, or move it back, might I say, like an episode or two, and then it'll be like, and then when it happens, it's like a quick 5-minute thing, and people aren't ready for it. They're like, oh shit, they're actually doing it. Hasta la vista. You lost your male lead.
There's from what I remember, is there going to be a retelling of the story?
What do you mean?
There's apparently a game called The Last of Us: The Retelling.
Oh, I don't know anything about
That was in the game announcements. There's something Last of Us. That's all I remember.
All right, so there is another Moana 2 trailer here, and we'll watch this and then do some last minute stuff, and then I will talk about the Agatha stuff, and anybody that wants to jump out can jump out. But here we go. Let's watch this.
Little sis! You were gone forever.
It was 3 days. The ancestors called on me to reconnect our people across the entire ocean.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Finally, we're back.
I didn't realize it was coming out that soon.
It's my
It's gonna make a lot of
job
money if it's coming out on Thanksgiving.
Finder to finish what they started. It'll be harder than anything we faced before.
Well, now I kind of miss the lava monster.
You might want to hold on. Oh, finally, we're back to who we're meant to be. I'll be Moana together again.
Disney's Moana 2.
Hey, you wanted to come this time.
Only in theaters November.
So I think it's going to make a lot of money. I think a lot of people are waiting for that movie. I know the Wild Robot came out this weekend, right? Isn't that playing right now? The Wild Robot.
I think I saw something about that.
I want to see that, but I don't know a lot about it.
I have to ask this.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably talked about it because I just saw the title, but no, I didn't join until later. Have you read the potential Joker 2 spoilers and stuff like that?
Not the spoilers. No, we didn't talk about the spoilers.
Okay, the spoilers make me not want to see the movie if that's anything close to what it is. It sounds so fucking awful.
We can talk about, because we don't know if they're true or not. They're rumors, right?
Well, you don't want to talk about it because multiple people are saying it, so it's not like it's your mate, my time to shine or something like that.
Okay, so a couple things. Maybe we'll do it on Monday. Maybe we'll talk about it on Monday then. Maybe we'll set up a time for it. Couple things here. The Superman Christopher Reeve story is releasing in theaters on October 11th, and you do pre-order tickets right now. So if anybody's looking to see that and you live in the United States, go ahead and look for tickets right now.
I kind of find it funny that they're trying to say that James Gunn is stealing it, and I'm like, stealing the Christopher Reeve story.
What do you mean?
Basically, when they put his new logo on it.
I think it's because I think James Gunn put a thing on Instagram for the Penguin and the Christopher Reeve thing and their Rotten Tomatoes scores, and he said, "Great start to DC Studios." When they're not really DC Studios productions, they were like, I guess, obviously the Christopher Reeve one was acquired. They just bought it and put it under the DC Studios banner. Then Penguin's Matt Reeves, and we thought that the Matt Reeves stuff wasn't DC Studios, and now it is. So I can see what people are saying, but at the same time, I don't think he's the lead of the studio. It's like he's still a DC Studios product or project and stuff like that. So he can't be stealing it. He can still be happy about it and everything. It's not like he's saying, "Oh, all my hard work with these two projects is
look
paid
at
off."
these movies I made.
They were effortless.
Apparently, Haley Seinfeld will continue playing Kate Bishop into Avengers: Secret Wars.
Is she going to be like 55 when she appears in another project?
I know. Like if they're going to do Young Avengers, they need to do it right away because all these actors are getting older. They're not going to be Young Avengers much longer. It'll be like
in like inverted commas, young.
It'll be
Young Avengers,
in college, college age Avengers.
Be like
at that point,
younger than the previous Avengers. Yeah, because they're 60, all of them. Like,
yeah. All right, let's remove the banner here because it's not going to be much longer. All right, I'm going to talk about the spoilers, but before I do that, before I talk about that, I want to thank Bob for being here, Organized Chaos, 3Dub for hanging out, and Paigey for showing up an hour and 30 minutes into the stream and being here. I'm going to talk about some Funko Pops that have been released, and they do spoil some major stuff in Agatha all along. So I'm going to talk about that. I don't know how much longer people are going to be to avoid those spoilers, because I feel like it's going to be everywhere in the next couple days. So you can stay, or you can try and avoid the spoilers on social media. It's entirely up to you guys if you care enough about these.
Yeah, well, I am. I'm going to go anyway, just so
Okay.
there's no spoilers and stuff like that. So,
All right. Got it.
What's the term that you use? Oh, that's right. Go work, go broke. So,
Okay. All right. Is anybody else heading out before I pull this up on screen? I don't want to spoil anything.
I think I'll stay here. I've had a lot of it spoiled already, so
I don't think one of these. I think is something that people expected. The other one is probably the bigger spoiler. 3W, you gonna stay? You gonna go?
I was already spoiled. I think I showed you what I was spoiled about.
Okay.
On X.
All right. Here we go. All right. So this is my warning. This is gonna be the last thing we talk about before we head off. But this is a warning for everybody in the chat. Anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled, you can head out now. And if you want to stay and talk about this, you can. I totally get it. But this is definitely going to be a spoiler. I made a video about it earlier today, but this is one more time, just heads up for spoilers. All right. Here we go. We're bringing it up on screen now. People probably have a slight delay anyway, so you've already been warned. Okay. So these pictures came out from Funko that confirm the identity of two characters on the show. One of them is not such a big surprise to me. The other
one of them is one I assumed. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Teen is Wiccan.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, no shock.
Least shocking surprise in the world.
I probably would have preferred to find it out watching the series, but I'm not too upset that it's confirmed here, because we've even seen pictures from the trailers that kind of connect with stuff from the comic book. So it's like, unless they were really trying to pull the rug out from under us, it just didn't make any sense otherwise. Okay.
The other one I was spoiled about because they also said that the first time that we actually saw this character was actually in Thor 4.
Right. So, but I didn't realize this is who Aubrey was playing. I thought it was going to be a separate character, but clearly this is her as well. So, and they said this character is going to carry on through the MCU. That should have been a big spoiler there. That was going to be a major character. Neither one of these necessarily break the world for me, but I still would have preferred to find out watching the show. But we live in an era where Funko Pop is in the market of promoting these shows by selling toys, and they have to get in early so they have the product ready for people when they want to buy it. And this is what happens.
They should have done like Green Witch, because isn't she that like that's the name? They should have done that instead of Death.
Well, I mean, the thing is with Grogu, they called it the Child. Like if you get if the early Funko Pops of Grogu, it says the Child, and it says that on almost every toy that came out until Grogu was revealed at the end of the season. And then they started putting out Grogu.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of that.
Yeah, they could have done the same thing here. They could have put teen in quotes with this design. And it looks like Wiccan, but they still could have tried to cover it up by saying teen. And Death, they could have literally put like anything else there, and it probably would have been the same thing.
Green Witch.
They decided to go,
Or Witch.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Or Rio Vidal, the character's name on the show.
Yeah.
Why not just call her by her name? So Darth Zen says, so they bring in legit Death after Thanos is gone. Well, that's a waste. I wonder the same thing. I was like, I wonder why they're introducing it this late, but Meister says neither are too surprising to me. I get it. I will say though, there were some spoilers from the episode that I won't talk about, but there's a name drop. Did you guys hear the name drop from the episode? Did you see that on social media?
Yeah, I saw it.
That one's spoiled. I know.
Okay. So Mephisto is name dropped in the episode. And it does seem like we're leading up to a storyline with all out supernatural shit in the MCU. So we're talking like Doctor Strange, Wanda probably coming back in the fold in some way. All of these characters coming together to face off against some magical being, most likely. Who that is, we don't know, but I'm sure it's going to somehow lead into Secret Wars and then into Doctor Doom's movie Doomsday and then Secret Wars. So
I think anything that's not under the Marvel spotlight is going to kind of like go into a bigger movie. Like the story's going to,
which we wondered why this wasn't a spotlight show, and this right here tells you why it's not, because it does include characters that will continue. Whereas the spotlight stories are supposed to be like these one-off stories where they don't necessarily like, go out into other stuff.
Spread out.
That makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, chat, let me know like quickly before we wrap it up, the people that are still here, did this surprise you? Did it not surprise you? I am curious to gauge what the general consensus is about this before we wrap up the stream. Anyway, with that being said, on Monday night, I'll be back again with another Nocturnal Nerdcast. We'll be talking about any coverage that comes out over the next few days. Again, it'll be at 10:30, and then we are moving into Superman and Lois after party territory, which I'm really excited about.
I just noticed something too. Like you can tell Funko Pop is like very, very gentleman-like because they did the lady first.
This is a cropped picture, 3Dog. I don't know if that's what it was on the bottom.
1472, 1473.
Oh, you mean number-wise. Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, the Blackheart thing, I think, was supposed to be a red herring that we could have theorized about for the next 2 or 3 episodes. But, the thing is, what's probably going to happen is Death will get revealed in the next episode or so because of, like, they're in the Witch's Road, and we know that Death is going to be a thing. So it'll probably get revealed pretty soon, or at least alluded to.
Kind of hope she kind of looks like her final form kind of looks like what she is in the comics. That would be cool.
Maybe. I mean, Death can kind of do whatever she wants, really. I think she can take whatever form she wants and whatever shape she wants. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll be live again on Monday, and we'll talk about more news topics then. And then the after parties will be returning for Superman and Lois, taking the place of Monday's Nocturnal Nerdcast. And on Mondays, the goal is to cover Superman and Lois and talk about Penguin, because Penguin's going to release on Sundays. So those will be the 2 shows I'll be talking about on Monday nights. And anybody that's watching those can jump in and chat as well. And any DC news. So all the DC news for the week will also go on Monday nights as well. All the other news stories will be held over till Thursdays for the Nocturnal Nerdcast on Thursdays while Superman and Lois is live. So we can't talk about Agatha because I'm the only person that's seen it. So we're not going to talk about spoilers for the episode.
Until like next week, yeah. I'll probably be all caught up.
Well, I'm going to do a separate video about Agatha for tomorrow. So anybody that wants me to hear my thoughts on Agatha, there'll be an upload tomorrow where I talk about it. So everybody expect that then. Anyway, on the Eric's Reloaded channel, because I know people are watching on both channels. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, 3Dub.
Yeah,
and we'll have another stream soon. Take care,
And
everybody.
thank you